Hey everyone, welcome back to TJ Hates Quitters, the Challenge USA recap podcast over here on Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. My name is Kari. I am joined by my co-host Katie, and bringing in the trio here is none other than silent podcaster Josi. Josi, we've been scrambling to have you on. You are here. We are happy to have you because you bring some not only fantastic reads on people, but the drama on the internet that we need. So we really need you to be our like eye in the sky, and by sky I mean Twitter. So Josie, how are you tonight?
I'm so excited to be here. I feel like it's a long time coming. Plus, I podcasted with both of you individually, and I love podcasting with you both. I feel like this is like the perfect trio. I'm obsessed. I'm so happy to be here. And I can't wait to recap this episode because there is Survivor on Survivor violence, and I'm always here for that.
And Katie, how are you tonight?
I'm great. I'm so excited that Josie's here with us. I feel like we're putting our powers together finally, since the three of us have never podcasted with each other, and I feel like we're all like secretly obsessed with each other in a like not a weird way. So I'm really excited. I'm just excited. Josie's got her ear to the social media streets, so I'm ready to hear about all the drama. I'm excited. This is like my favorite television to talk about all week.
I can't believe we haven't podcast together. Like I
I
actually am still
know.
not convinced that that's a factual statement.
I
So
know.
well, this week we, like Josie said, had some Survivor on Survivor crime. The first shot was taken, and from the preview, it seems like all hell is going to break loose, and that is what I am here for. I'm so excited. Although we did have, I really feel like the first shot was last week. I feel like Big
Mm-hmm.
Brother was like, we'll take out one of our own, and then Tyson's like, hey, these guys are fine. Like, let's roll the dice. Let's see what happens. So, like we do here, we go on vibes. We don't have to go in episode order. Let's talk about what happened. Tyson and Cash win. And we'll get into the Tyson and Cash win because that win in itself is crazy. Like the fact that that happened alone should be the highlight
Shocking.
of this episode, but it's not because Tyson won, which means like, okay, and I shouldn't just give credit to Tyson here, but to Cash as well. Like Tyson and
Mhm.
Cash won who are willing to, just be big. Like
Yeah.
big personalities, big moves, and this is what we get. And so um, we're at, the Tyson and Cash throw in Sarah Lacina and Leo. The shock, because all we've been hearing these first four episodes is Survivor Strong, Survivor Strong,
Yeah.
Survivor Strong. Episode 5, Tyson's like, nah, not today.
The more that I can see someone sticking it to Sarah, the better. Like I can't, Carrie, I've been talking about it all week, but like I cannot stand Cops Are Us. Get her out of here. She's my least favorite on the whole show, so I'm ready for her to be out the door. So I loved every second of this.
Yeah, I honestly like I have so many thoughts on Sarah, and we're gonna get into them obviously, but it felt so nice for a little bit of a blind side on her part. I just felt like there's a lot of ego from
Ugh,
Sarah for
so
someone who
much.
has yet to win anything daily. I just feel like the arrogance is a little too crazy for the performance that was being displayed. Obviously, we're gonna get into the like elimination, but to me, it just feels so unwarranted. And so to finally see her get a little bit humbled because of her, like it's literally her fault that she got sent in, to be honest, in my opinion. Like
Totally.
I was here for it. I was enjoying myself. I was drinking my water. I was sitting back. I was like, if he leaves, I'm okay with it. I'm so okay with it.
I would have loved to have seen her gone. Unfortunately, obviously, she's still with us, and she was acting like a complete fool after the elimination. When she was, my favorite part of it was when Tyson was like, she was doing the like slit
Eating
your
that.
neck thing, and then like chewing on a turkey leg. That was like the funniest because she looked so wild that I was like, thank God, like I'm not the only one that feels like this woman looks like an idiot.
Honestly, immediately when I saw this behavior, I thought about Laurel
Yes.
like a few seasons ago, being like,
Yes.
suck it.
Yes.
Like that
Yeah,
to me
but
was
Laurel
the immediate
lost.
comparison. Right.
Controversial.
Like it can't get
Controversial.
I think I think she should have won, but we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it. But I genuinely felt like that was the same energy, and I did not like it. Like from Laurel, I was kind of like, okay, because I'm like, you're that bitch. But like Sarah Lucina, I don't know.
Not
Like you
that
didn't even
bitch.
do all that work for this elimination.
Right.
So do you really get the right to be acting a mess, acting a fool? I don't think so.
Yep. Totally.
Do we think that Sarah Lucina is purposefully trying to be a villain in this season? Because
She just
she's
is a villain
getting
in
edited
life.
like one. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Sarah Lucina has not gone as far as she has in Survivor without having a strong social game. Like, she gets along with people who are different than her, who vote differently than her, who are in groups of people that are suppressed by the people she votes for. She gets along with them. So she's never really been like a villain on Survivor. I feel like she's getting a villain edit here. Do you think that she came into this with that mentality, or do you think she's getting a villain edit just out of like, this will make this story interesting? And she like didn't know that that's how things were going during the season.
I mean, here's the thing. I saw on Instagram, yes, I'll give you the tea.
Yes.
I saw on
give it to us.
Instagram, I can't remember who it was, but it was definitely a black woman. I don't know if it was Ozza, Desi, or Tiffany, one of the three, maybe Cache. But actually, I've just heard a lot of people being like, oh, the person I got along with surprisingly was Sarah Lucina. Sarah's so sweet. Sarah's so blah, 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 blah. And like, we see her get along with like Cache, for example, and like other people in the house. So I definitely think I think her social game is definitely there. But the issue is that she acts like her shit doesn't stink. And that's why there's this like weird arrogance. Like, I I feel like I know where Sarah's going in this season for me to understand the edit a little bit more. But I think Sarah and Tyson also are kind of getting this edit where it's like they're gonna make it far. And so we're seeing a lot of them and we're seeing a lot of like confidence. So at the end of it, if one of them do win, which I do think is gonna happen, I said this in our conversation about Love Island. I think one of the Survivor people are gonna win, if not two. So I think this edit is like making them, it's giving kind of a Johnny Bananas West to me. Like we know they're gonna make it to the end, they're probably gonna win. Like that's what I feel. And that's where this arrogance comes from. So it might look like a villain edit, but I think I really just think it's like they act like their shit doesn't stink. And so they act that way. And then they're using it as a confidence thing. I know that I'm this. I know that I'm a competitor. I know I'm a beast. I know I can win, blah, blah, blah. So it might come off like a villain to us.
I also think it's because she is a winner. She came really close in Winners at War also. I mean, she went out in Final Four fire. She very easily could have won a second season. Can we imagine a world that Sarah Lucina would have been the second two-time Survivor? But it could have happened. So, I mean, I think maybe that's where some of her arrogance, and I mean, I know we know Tyson to be, I find him more like playfully arrogant and like more of like an anti-hero than a villain, but he's kind of the same, you know, like I mean, this is his third challenge win, daily challenge win. Like this is out of what, like 5 or 6?
5.
This is incredible to me, especially overcoming what he overcame in today's episode. So it's just, shout out to Tyson. I think that one, Survivor is the biggest one of these 4 shows. 4 shows? 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4 shows that are on. So I think they get just like a bigger ego probably from that, from being like Survivor people. And then the fact that they won Survivor, I think that makes them feel, you know, like they're even bigger personalities. And then the fact that they've been on Survivor like 3 times for Sarah, 4 times for Tyson, Dom only once, but Ben twice, and Ben came close again also to the end. So I think that's kind of where like some of that arrogance comes from, which comes off as like being a villain. Plus Sarah's just a real life evil villain.
Yeah, we don't fuck with Sarah here.
No, we don't fuck with Sarah.
I also wonder if, I mean, obviously this show is filmed in its entirety and then they go and make the edit. And just Sarah's reaction to winning alone, which I know I got cut out of here. I had told Katie about, my Wi-Fi has only like cut out a couple times. And it's like for 30 seconds. Hasn't happened in like in a few hours. And then 2 fucking minutes into this show. But anyway, Sarah's response to winning, her reaction to winning, eating a turkey leg, the slitting her the throat thing, like what the fuck was that? But
that was so embarrassing.
I also wonder if like in that reaction, and I mean, I don't know what happens next, but I know that there's no way she doesn't go in to the house and run her mouth a little bit and do what she can to fuck around with Tyson's game. Like, I wonder if in hindsight, because I feel like her confessionals, every confessional we've gotten in the first 5 episodes of Sarah Lucina before she goes into this elimination does not have a sense of humility to it.
Not at all.
Everything has just been like demeaning to someone, especially Leo, who saved her ass with the quadratic equation today.
Yeah, really.
Exponent 2.
Which, let me get this out of the way. All right, I have a math rant to go on.
Go for it.
Quadratics are equations or expressions to the second power. It does not actually deal with the number 4. So when he said quadratic, like, I get it because quad is regularly a prefix for things of 4, but in the case of quadratic, it's actually to the exponent of 2. And you're looking for quartic if that's the case. Just throwing it out there, Leo. I know you're a cat, so vocabulary is probably not your thing, but or math for that. Like, counting to 9 is probably all you need to worry about in terms of the number of lives you have, but quadratic's not the term there. However, your strategy did work. And so I'm not going to lay too hard into you, but I went to college and spent too much money on sitting here and letting that slide by.
I do want to get back to something you had said, Kari, about Sarah Lucina's confessionals. I don't know if it's like this is why I feel like she's going to make it far, if not win. Is because the only other person who's like confessionals to me were like, and like didn't make sense with the narrative was Amber B, who won. I forget what season it was. I don't think it was Spies, Lies, and Allies, but it was one of those seasons.
Was it Total Matt? I don't know the names of these
Doesn't matter
seasons because
it's
good.
The new era of the challenge, I guess. And so to me, I'm like, damn, she's probably gonna make it far because. And this is what I was saying earlier. The way she talks to me, like the way she talks in these confessionals is not warranted. Like she doesn't get to sit here and act like she's that bitch. Like to me, with everything we've seen so far, the only woman, I think that should be talking like this, it's not even Angela, it's Justine. I think Justine has done a really good job. She's kind of been in the top 4 approximately every time. And then the one time she's last, she wins. And David's like, give her the credit. Her resume is better than people who have been on the challenge for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think Justine's the one who should be sitting there, talking her shit in the confessionals. And the fact that we're not getting it in comparison to Sarah, who up until this point hasn't done too much. Like, I don't remember her ever being in the top 3. It just, the math isn't mathing. So to me, it's like they're setting her up for longevity, kind of like an Amber situation versus like in the moment, oh yeah, let me own up to it. Because if you're doing poorly and then you succeed at the end and we don't see you from the start, everyone's gonna be like, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. So from an editing standpoint, they have to put her in. Like Tyson to me is someone who's warranted all these confessionals because 1, he's been killing it every single time. Like, shout out to him. And like has been making a lot of these like game moves. I think it was a Big Brother show for a long time, but now that they've been decimated.
Yeah.
That's why we have this like weird shift, especially. But yeah, I feel like they're setting her up for that like winner edit, if not runner up.
We're not hoping for that over here.
No,
by any means.
Not hoping for that.
But I think everything you're saying makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're right, she hasn't done much except like talk shit in confessionals. She hasn't won a daily. She's won her elimination, and I don't know. We'll see, but I do want to talk about Tyson's move here, or like from the perspective of Tyson's move, and less about Sarah Lucina. And I need to stop saying Tyson because it was Tyson and Cachet. But do we think that Tyson going and Cash going after Sarah at this time in this instance is a smart move? Because we had Ben, the strategist, fucking chime in and be like, Tyson always makes moves too soon. Which, like, shut up and go find an idol, Ben. Okay, like,
Right.
Well, you said it. You said it.
Right.
So I like why
Right.
we went to him for strategy insight. Like, what type of fucking move was that one, MTV?
Ben
That's
basically quit Winners at War. Let's not get
Yeah.
it twisted. He was at like final 5 and then just quit, or final 6 or whatever, and basically quit. So enough out of Ben. TJ would not be a fan of Ben's if he watched that season. Let's just say that. But no, Carrie, I don't know. I don't think so. And I know I kind of felt this way last week with Xavier, but I didn't think that Azah and Cinco were going to win against Sarah. Personally, I mean, you never know what the challenge is going to be. And this one was kind of a toss-up. It could have been either one of them without that strategy. But I think I would have been a little nervous.
That's such an interesting point. The thing is that I feel like there's been moments where I think someone's going to win and then someone else surprises me. So I never go into something and go, oh, this person's going to lose unless they're injured or something.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of the time also like editors remove that like instance of being injured. Like we found out outside of the show that Tiffany was injured when she did that elimination
Peloton bike. Yeah.
and the fact that she almost won injured, I mean, that's my queen, period. She can do no wrong to me. But I think this move isn't too crazy, honestly. I think Sarah set herself up for Tyson to just put her in. I would never go into the house and bash my partner.
No.
This partner is still attached to me until we see that weird randomizer pick me a new partner. Until then, you're stuck with them. So Sarah doing her rounds, just complaining out loud about Leo. At this point, it's already a consensus between the women that, hey, we don't really like Leo. We don't want to be partnered up with Leo. Everyone knows this. This is not new information. We heard about it in the last episode. So why are you now going and doing the most, doing absolutely like running around the house, like talking about drowning him and all that shit? Like, why are you doing all that? You're setting yourself up to be, available because you keep increasing your partner's target even though they're beside you. The week's not over, sis. So
exactly.
For her to go and complain, and then you have Cachet whose performance, wasn't the best. She realizes that. At least she's self-aware. But she's like, damn, if there's a swimming competition and it's me and Leo together, I'm screwed. So why wouldn't she do that for her game? And to me, I would go up to Sarah and be like, hey, I would lie. These Survivor players like to lie. Hey, I felt like you were going to beat Azah, like you were good. I just wanted, to give you some money. I don't know, lie to her face. Obviously, after that reaction, maybe lying's not worth it anymore. But like she set herself up for her to be vulnerable. If she would have sat there and ate her food, it would have been cool. But she put this idea and this concept of Leo's a bad partner, and he's working with Angela, who wants to get rid of the weak people more than he is Sarah, and Angela's performed more than Sarah. So why is it that Sarah all of a sudden needs to be protected by him? He doesn't owe her anything. Yeah, they're from the same show. But at the end of the day, there's only one winner. So I don't care what show you're on. If I can win at the end, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think you actually make a really good point, Josie, because not only is she still attached to Leo, Leo doesn't have a lot of friends in the house that are going to keep him safe. So you're trashing this guy. You're making all the women in the house that be like, oh, she has a point. I don't want to be partners with this guy either. So let's get rid of him now when he's in a vulnerable position. And there's no one in the house to really speak up for him because he's a loner from Amazing Race. So like this is extra bad on Sarah's perspective. I think she got lucky that Leo had that strategy, but I think From Tyson's perspective, I just don't know if it's the best move because that just kind of turns all of Survivor against you. Like, it feels like Kylan and Alyssa got off real easy from that move to throw X in last week. But this doesn't seem like it's going to go over as well as that did.
I think had Sarah gone home, they could have an Alyssa and Kyle moment because it was successful, even though that move was stupid. Especially with knowing that Ozza goes home this week. Like, they have no one anymore.
They have no one.
And so I think had Sarah gone home, they would have been like, yeah, exactly. And blah, blah, blah. And Survivor wouldn't have been two against them except for maybe Ben, but Ben's already been on this. Tyson's my biggest threat. I wouldn't mind seeing him go in. So it's not like he's creating new enemies. He's just starting the war early. He took the first shot.
Yeah.
How do you think the dominoes fall with the Survivor people after this? Because do you think that there's going to be a divide? If you think of, okay, here's who we have left from Survivor. We have Danny. We have Tyson. We have
Dom, right?
Dominic, Desi. We have Ben and Sarah. So I would guess that Tyson and Danny stick together.
Me too. And then I think probably the rest. Maybe Desi's like in between.
I don't know, because like Desi and Dominic were on the same season, right?
Desi and Ben.
Oh, that
but
matter.
I don't think we've ever even seen them interact.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they were never even on like a tribe. They were never on the same beach. So I could see Desi sticking with, I could see Desi sticking more with Danny and Tyson just because they're strong men who maybe might keep her safe.
Yeah.
Versus, I don't know, but.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be on Dom's team. Or Sarah Lucina's or Ben's. But like, based on performance.
Yeah, because we've heard Dom be like, Tyson's my biggest.
Yeah, Dom has spoken out about him in which I'm like, bro, are you sure? Are you sure about that?
The other thing is, and forgive me if you said this while I was gone, Josi, but the other thing I don't get about Sarah's move here is you don't have to be Leo's partner for at least another how many partners because of the way this algorithm works. So what point is there in trashing your current partner that you, like the other women, like you guys have said, are going to pick up on and be like, oh, fuck, yeah, I don't want to work with him. I don't want to work with that cat. They don't even have opposable thumbs. Like, why would you in that moment, why wouldn't you wait until afterwards to do it? Because then at least you have a few weeks left before the perfect algorithm that is so great that TJ made, it is perfect, puts you two potentially back together.
Ren, she did it last week with Derek too, which maybe was only in the confessional, but she wasn't really helping out in that challenge either. So Josie, to your point that she hasn't really done the work to like get this ego, you're absolutely right, because she's been week after week trashing every partner that she's had, and she's come in middle of the road every time. It's not like she's been in second place. Has she been in second? I don't think she's come in.
No, and that's what I mean. Sarah reminds me of that friend who goes to different friend groups and complains about everyone else. Yeah. But it's like, baby girl, if you keep changing friend groups, at one point you have to realize you're the problem. Like, you're the common theme in these problems. And that to me, and I got really annoyed about the Derek bashing. Not to say that I'm a Derek stan or anything, but this episode alone just showed strength within Derek. Like, this man almost won.
Yeah, he did great.
The puzzle is an equalizer. You know what I mean? So had the puzzle not been there, Derek would have won. This would have been Derek's week. And so that's why I get so frustrated when people like Sarah go into the, confessional and start bashing people. Tyson, for example, I feel like I'm going to keep referencing Tyson, but Tyson, he's been frustrated, but he's never gone out of his way to bash his partner. And that's one thing that I've really respected. Sarah hasn't won shit, and she has no right to me to complain. So it's like, when she does all of this, it's like, baby girl, like, it's not mathing. Like, at some problem, and the fact that she's even here is because of someone she's been bashing the entire episode. Yep. Like, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and just because you think that you're perfect and you have none doesn't mean that's actually true. And so you should give your partners the benefit of the doubt. Like, Carrie, I think you're so like right about that point about her not being partnered up with him ever again. If it's so bad, wait until the next week when you are
Yeah.
Miss Man
Maybe
have
you
power.
win and throw him in.
Mhm.
Exactly, because he's all alone. You know what I mean? Like she didn't have to do this. It's like she campaigned for. It's giving. I hate to do this comparison, but it's giving Nicole put my partner on the block, and then like it's like
Yeah. God.
reap what you sow, baby girl. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just not mapping. It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that this move was smart for Cachet. And here's
Yes.
why I think this. If Sarah and Leo lose, you are taking out one of the strongest women in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You have protected Justine because with Tyson wanting Ben to be out there, Justine is the victim going alongside that. So she manages to protect one of her closest allies. Like we've said, Justine has been proven to be one of the strongest women in this house. So great to have as an ally. And if Sarah and Leo lose, you get rid of potentially being with Leo. Also, like her ex-boyfriend's out of the house and she doesn't have to deal with that bullshit anymore.
Right.
So like
Right.
the mental health win here. So no matter what, like I feel like she's got a win-win situation. And so I thought that this, like, especially for Cachet to speak up with Tyson, because everybody, in my opinion, sees Tyson as this power player running the house. This is Tyson's game. And so for you to be like, no, I know you want Ben in there, but I'm not putting my girl out there just because that's what you want. So great week for Cachet. And she kind of like says this in the episode. She's like, I just want a challenge, a swimming challenge. I can't fucking swim. Like I'm on a show with my ex-boyfriend. Like, how am I here? What is my life? What is going on here? So I think this was a smart move for Cachet. No matter like what happens, she's losing someone who is detrimental to her in one way or another.
Yeah, I think you're totally right, Carrie. And I love that even like you said, she spoke up and Tyson listened and did what Cachet wanted to do, which maybe probably wasn't the best thing for him, but it was good for her. So like, again, shout out to Tyson for he could have the ego that Sarah has and be like, I've won 3 challenges. I'm going to just call the shots here. You're just like along for the ride, especially because she didn't really like contribute a ton in that challenge. We know she kind of made the mistake that made them behind, but like they worked together as a team. They ended up pulling out the win and he still treated her with the respect to say like, okay, then we'll do your plan. And like, I like that. I like that they were able to work together like that.
In addition to all your points, I think what's great is that this blowback is not really going to go on her because she doesn't owe Survivor shit.
Yep.
So they're not going to be like, how could you do this, Cachet? Like, no. Tyson's going to get all the flack, and Tyson is not going to be her partner for a while. So if he has to go in by Survivor, she's not going to be the one in with him. So she literally wins in every scenario.
Yep.
Yeah. Good for you, Cash. Proud of you for that one. She's been great on the show.
The week. She wins the week for sure.
If I don't know if you remember this, but when we talked about Love Island, I said Cachet and Justine are the 2 people I think. I said Cachet specifically, but I was like, these 2 are going to do really well, but especially Cachet. I was like, out of all of the women from Love Island, obviously they're going to get along with people, whatever. But I felt like she had the most savvy aspect. So I'm glad that my manifestations came true, even though I had to just go off of the show Love Island, which literally has nothing to do with the challenge.
I'm super impressed by all the Love Island people because I don't watch Love Island. So I'm super impressed. Like I didn't know what to expect with them coming in, but like I'm loving Justine. She's one of my favorites. I feel like she's a total badass. Cash is great for the show. Even Cinco, I really liked Cinco. I think the cast that they brought in from Love Island is really great. Pleasantly surprised by everybody on this show. Yeah, Shannon's been great.
I think one of the hard things that CBS had to do is they know that they're going to bring viewers in from Survivor. They know they're going to bring viewers in from Big Brother, especially with airing it right after the Wednesday Big Brother episode. So how do you make, I'm sure that the Venn diagram of people who watch Love Island with Big Brother and Survivor, there's an overlap, but I doubt that there is a huge overlap, especially with how new Love Island is and all that. So how do you make these viewers care about the Love Island and to an extent the Amazing Race people? And I think they've done such a great job in incorporating them in the storyline that could so heavily be dominated by, I mean, Tyson is dominating it, but it's not just Tyson. Like we know that the relationship, especially between the Love Island girls, exists, and like given, like we've said, week in, week again, we wish we got 90-minute episodes so that we could see more of these relationships and showcase that. But I love how CBS is doing this in terms of getting us to care about the people that I don't know if a lot of people were ready to care about.
Yeah, and I don't think they would have been as cared about if they went on the main challenge show and tried to integrate with the challenge cast. Like, I think this is the perfect way to introduce people to these shows that maybe they weren't watching before. Because I know for me, like, when people come in to the main challenge, the main show from another show that like I don't watch, I'm like, I'm just not invested. But just because everybody on this season is a rookie and I'm totally interested in seeing how they're all interacting with each other and the way the strategy's kind of panning out, I'm loving it. Everybody. Even the people that I don't like. I mean, I'm not loving Sarah. Let's not get it twisted, or Ben. But even if I'm like, not super invested in a lot of these people, I'm still like loving what I'm seeing.
I like, to your point, Katie, I think what is great is the fact that we really get to know everyone individually. I don't think there's one person on the show I'm like, who are you again? Versus like the main MTV challenge. I think the big issue is that they put 4 or 5 new people at a time, and with the mentality of like rookies go home first, you have to earn your stripes, all that BS nonsense. Like, we don't get to see them because automatically people just want them to go home. And so this is something I recently have been thinking about because I just randomly started watching Fresh Meat 2, which, wow, what a different world.
Yeah.
But I think MTV needs to do that again. I think they need a new reset because seeing these same people over and over again, they get the most airtime and we don't see other people shine. And I think they've had great characters come in, maybe not necessarily make it far, but have these like personalities. It's the whole point of why they got on the show in the first place. And they don't get the opportunity to shine as much or, come into their own within the franchise because MTV doesn't let them have that chance, especially due to the format. Because a lot of these people don't watch the show sometimes, so they're just here to, get into it, get their clout and stuff. But like, they don't know. Like, we need savvy players. And this is why I was so thankful for the addition of the Survivor people on the main MTV challenge, because I'm like, these people are strategic. Like, they didn't come here to just like get their clout. They're obviously, got their clout from being on the show that they love. That requires heavy strategy. And so putting them in this environment where they have a house now and they have AC and they don't have to worry and they can go drink and club every other weekend, like, that to me is the energy that we need again. And I'm sorry, I don't see the Challenge USA. To me just feels like old MTV, the challenge, especially characters like Tyson. He just gives me that old like Wes Jordan, Johnny Bananas arrogance and like a way that makes sense, and the strategy and like the dry humor. Like, this is what I miss. And so I'm going to be really sad if the Challenge USA doesn't come back anymore. Like, now I'm just going to automatically compare it to this MTV's The Challenge. And I found out who won the other day. Oh, anyways.
Oh, so God. This is like the first challenge season I haven't been keeping up with spoilers just because I don't care. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. Timeline.
When you guys see who wins, I can't wait for it. I really can't wait for that day. Because when I saw it, I was like, there's no... They're going to represent in the world. Okay. Have fun, I guess. Oh, God.
I will say that I am sick of seeing this tweet on my timeline. I've seen it multiple times now that like, oh, these women would have carried MTV The Challenge. Like, it's Alyssa, it's Shannon. I forget who else was in. Maybe Kayla's in there. No one's carrying that show because of its structure. It's a shitty structure right now. It doesn't matter who you put on there, like, because you've had good characters come through. Like, you can't deny that CT is a good character. He's a good character. Like, you've got, I don't know. And so I'm sick of seeing that. Keep them on CBS. Keep this here. Let's build off of here. If we have to eliminate MTV The Challenge, keep CBS The Challenge. But the quality we're getting,
keep All Stars.
Yep, All Stars too. I'm happy with it. I I do want to bring up a couple of things that came up in this episode that kind of
Yeah.
relate to what we're talking about right now. So,
Mm.
Cinco said it's been his dream to be on the challenge.
Yes,
Do you believe
noticed
that?
that. Yeah, I kind of do.
Really?
I kind of do. Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not watched an episode of the challenge in his fucking life.
Oh, I don't think so. I feel like he's probably watched a few seasons and is like, "Oh, I want to do this." And now I'm on reality TV, so maybe I could maybe it's a new dream, but I believe that it's something he's thought about before.
I think people who started to come on, I think the War of the World season
Yeah.
changed how people view reality TV because prior to that, to my knowledge, a lot of people, random people, could just get on the challenge. Like they could. There was like some auditions sometimes, or some like win a chance to be on the show. Like I remember a
They
few of
were
those somewhere.
they were running so here's what happened. They were like running auditions kind of at Tough Mudder or Spartan
Mhm.
Yeah,
Races.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
Spartan Races, I think. But there wasn't anyone from that on there. They've never done
like
they never did anything with it. That's the closest they've come since Fresh Meat. Otherwise, everyone has come from a TV show.
Mhm.
But that's what I mean. I feel like the challenge has been like you have to get on a show to actually
Yeah.
be on here at this rate. And so I think people may have this idea of this is the show I actually want to go on. Cinco's built like a, I don't know, like this is such a compliment. But oh, it might not come out of it, but I mean it in the most compliment. He's built like a semi truck. Like he's scary.
Mhm.
Like like
Mhm.
he could lift me up and like throw me to like the United States. For those who don't know, I'm Canadian. So like I'm not surprised that a built man is saying, "Hey, this is my dream, and I wanted to go into it." And also, Cache says it in her confessional, so it's obviously conversation that has been had. Like Katie said, how recent is this dream? I don't know, but at this rate, you have to kind of be strategic to land on the show in the first place. So you have to be in good physique for people to even consider you in the first place, and then you have to be somewhat well liked or do well in whatever show you're in to then progress to that. Because I think honestly, not to say that people have connections to producers, but I think if you know someone who knows someone, if you're good with someone, there's this overlap and it's a much easier transition. And I think War of the Worlds was seeing people from CBS, like, or even prior to that, because Davon came on before War of the Worlds, but like Josh, Polly, Natalie, all these random people from Big Brother coming in and Survivor coming in, it's not that far off that. And then we have people from Are You the One? So a show like Love Island isn't that far off to get on there because one, they have people from the CBS platform, and two, you have people who are on dating shows who are on the challenge. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was like, "Yeah, I want to do this," and then he was lucky enough that CBS The Challenge became a thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I feel like the last, at least since Big Brother 21, if you guys, I mean, I know Kari, you probably didn't watch, but Josi, if you stuck with that terrible season, there were like literal fights between Jackson and Holly out in the hammock about him being on the challenge because he wanted to go on the challenge. And Christmas in Big Brother 22 was like, I want to go on the challenge. It's like every season now of Big Brother, people are like, I want to go on the challenge. They treat it like it's like a feeding ground. So I feel like that's always just going to be like a natural thing of people being like, I want to be on the challenge.
This is so funny because I'm going to mention this tomorrow when we podcast, but this whole like I'm going to go on one show to go on another one has been such a like a thing now
Mm-hmm.
that it's kind of frustrating. So at this rate, it doesn't surprise me when I see other people from shows and be like, I've always wanted to be here. Because a lot of people like meta game in this weird overlap of like, how can I get to this show? Because the challenge doesn't open its doors to anyone, which I think is kind of unfortunate. Because if you just let the right people be on reality TV, it's gonna give. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no,
opportunity.
I think that's true. I personally like that we take them from reality TV because I don't know. You Ray have people who have experience in front of a camera versus like your first time being on the show in addition to like a high pressure type of climate where it's not just like a high pressure living situation, but you have to do things like jump on things 30 feet above water and all that stuff that like at least I know that I don't have to worry about them like adjusting to being on TV in addition to
Mm.
the format of this game. The other thing I wanted to bring up is what did you think of Kayla's use of the term layup? So she said that Derek and her were layups in this instance because they were Amazing Race and Big Brother, and the winning team was Love Island Survivor. So they are layups to go in. What did you think of her use of the word layup here?
Wait, no, because one thing that gets on my nerves is the wrong use of terminology. Yes, I get that we make them up, but still, there's like a layup is someone who you consider an easy
Right.
beat. At the end of
Yes,
the
and
day,
she's a
Yeah.
fan of the show. It made me so mad that she got this wrong, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying it.
at the end of the day, the whole point
David
is to
Alexander's a layup,
survive.
okay?
T. But at the end of the day, the whole point of the show is to survive elimination to get to the final. That's the whole point. So, with the context of the use of the word layup, just because you're a team that happens to have people who are not from the same show as a winning team, doesn't mean you're a layup. That's like if Alyssa and Kylan won, and they're like, Tyson's a layup because he's partnered up with Survivor.
Right.
What?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
no.
Yeah, she apparently is a huge fan of the challenge. So when I heard that, I was just like, who did you tell you were a fan of the challenge, Shu? Because I just want to talk. That's it. I just want to talk. So yeah, I wanted to throw that out there.
I to your point about huge fan, I feel like people throw the word huge or super in front of fan to like emphasize that they merit their position. You're on the show, baby girl. You don't have to tell us
Yeah.
like that you merit it by calling yourself a fan. You know, the only person I think who really was a fan coming into this was James. Because James is sitting there, I know you
Yes.
from this season, this season, this season.
James was like fanning out.
Oh, he was having a time. I feel like I would not that I would have James tease, but I feel like my energy in that sense, like I feel like if I was on the show and I was like, I watched all of you, like I'd be the same way.
Yeah,
But like
same.
even Derek, who's watched technically, he says he's watched all the seasons of Survivor for the people who are on the show. He's not throwing the word I'm a huge fan of Survivor. Like he's just saying, I watch the show. So you don't have to prove yourself by saying you're a big fan if you're not. Like that's the same. That's how I feel about the word super fan. You can be a fan. It's okay to watch regularly. It's okay to be casual. Not everyone can be super fan, you know? So it's okay. You don't have to pretend to be
Right.
something you're not.
The term casual. I could go on a 5-minute tirade right now. God forbid people have a surface level connection with a TV show.
Yeah.
God
Get out of
fucking
here.
bid.
Get out of
Like,
here if you do.
You know what? You're right. Bye, guys. Like, oh my gosh. Especially in like the Survivor internet corner, I'm just like, I
Yeah.
am sorry that I do not like, I don't know, masturbate to season 14 of Survivor at night. I am so sorry. Like,
I am a Survivor, extreme Survivor casual. I don't remember tribe names. I barely remember
Oh.
anything. Like yeah.
We see each other. I love Survivor. I'll get it on. I started watching Survivor for almost like maybe 10 years. I could name you 10 players that like
Yeah,
who are
see,
not
they
winners.
don't stick in my brain, much like instructions. They do not stick. For some reason, Survivor doesn't stick for me.
Yeah, I can name you a bunch of Big Brother stuff, but
Same.
Survivor, even the challenge. Like I told you, like Kari and I, we podcasted All Stars. I was like, girl, I wasn't even born with half these people played. Like I watched a few seasons. I started freshman 2. Even then, I don't. I told her, I let her know, but I was like, I can comment on it because I may have a different perspective than you,
Yeah,
and it's okay. It's okay to have different perspectives. Like that's the whole point of having conversations. You're trying to learn from each other, but also like debate and like view different things. And did you see this? Did you miss this? There's nothing wrong with that. So shout out to the casuals.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
joking when I said get out of here. We accept casuals.
We love casuals. Come watch or listen to our show so that you don't have to do all the
Yeah. We'll make
I
you
was
not a
just about to
casual.
say that. Like, podcasts have laid their foundation off of people who were at least casually into a show at some point, and then I'm sure had their fandom just catapulted exponentially because there's people who I can listen to talk about this, and let me join this Facebook group or this Discord where I can communicate more about this, or I'm using the hashtag on Twitter. So like,
Yeah.
I hate the term gatekeeping as well because I feel like it's a buzzword right now, but like
Yeah.
I do feel that it is a very like gatekeeping thing to be like, oh, you casual, you'll never like this show as much as I do. I
Yeah.
can recite all of the winners of this show in reverse alphabetical order in less than 14 seconds. Time me, go.
It
Like,
gives-
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it
Go,
gives like,
like,
you know,
Play in
when
a sandbox, touch, like, find outdoor oxygen, look at a
Yeah,
plant
touch grass.
photosynthesizing. Like, you need to do something besides this because if that makes me a casual, and the fact that I went bowling last week instead of watching it live, like, blow me, okay?
It gives like, you know, the energy of people are like, oh yeah, you like this band, name 5 of their albums. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you like Survivor, name every fucking tribe. And like when they became like what episode was the tribe split in season 32? It's like, just relax, everybody, relax. I can still enjoy the show, okay?
Anyway, so I just wanted to point out that
I'm with you.
we do properly use the term layup around here.
Mhm.
So let's run through some things from the episode that we haven't yet. What did you think of Cachet at the beginning being like, Tyson's the weirdest individual I've ever met?
I mean, probably true.
She's in a house with a person who pretends to be a cat.
Wow,
yeah, there's
that's
that.
so tea.
Also Enzo.
Yeah. When Josi, Katie, I don't know if you thought this, but when Josi was like, yeah, like, I know who everyone is. I have an understanding of each person. I want to be like, I still don't know Enzo and Leo apart. Although I think I'm more confident that I could tell the difference between them after this episode.
Yeah,
Not
well,
100%
Enzo's like the
confident,
old person and Leo's not. That's all you
and
need to
Leo's a
remember.
cat. And Leo's a cat.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny that you talked about that because I swear earlier on this episode, and I think I tweeted this early on in the season, sorry, Enzo was like, yo, like, Leo's so fucking weird.
Yes, he
cats.
did.
I'm like, dude,
You call yourself the
literally called
meow
yourself
meow.
the meow.
Yes.
Like, you have no place.
Wait, maybe that's why I mixed them up. Wait. Enzo calls himself Meow Meow.
The meow. He calls himself
What he used
the
to.
meow meow.
But then there's Leo who thinks he's a cat. There are 40 seasons and 40 seasons of Survivor and 23 of Big Brother to pick from. And this is what we fucking get. We have these fucking felines walking around these goddamn platforms.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had this conversation about why, like, when you did this preseason thing. Did you have that conversation about, like, why do you think these people were casted?
No.
Because I personally, I'm just gonna talk on the like the Love Island front. It's like they're all hot and beautiful, like great.
Mhm.
But for this Big Brother aspect of the show, the people that they picked to me
So
were
random.
so random. Like, what the? First of all, Enzo is from season 12.
12.
You mean this
My
guy?
goodness.
It's just me and
If
Enzo.
you aren't watching the video,
It's just me and
it's
casually just me and Enzo.
Enzo. I think
And I
they
would do it
said
too.
say
And I would
the
do it
meow meow on 3, and that's how we got those beautiful faces. in
The
that
only
picture.
person at this event that I was like starstruck by was Enzo because he's such a ridiculous person that I was like, I have to take a picture with this guy because like this is the funny. I will never see this man again in my life, and it's the funniest thing.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. Like he's season 12. Then you have David Alexander, who was the first.
How is this man still on television?
Sucked on All Stars. No offense. Actually, I don't care.
Offense.
I've said a
Offense. No,
lot worse
offense.
things about David Alexander, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Then you
Katie
have, like,
shits on him
Angela.
every week.
Every
It's okay.
episode. It's my
Oh.
favorite thing to do.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the anti-David club. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then you have like all of season 23, which makes sense because I think season 23's impact makes sense for the time that we're in when it was picked, whatever.
It's a strange thing though to have so many of them on one season. Like you would think they would have spread out a little bit because it's like obviously you're making a target out of all of them, which surprisingly didn't happen as much as I thought it would, and surprisingly they didn't work together as an alliance like I thought they would. Because I feel like that would have been smart, but they didn't. Instead, they were cannibalizing each other. But it's interesting. And then like Angela, randomly, who we haven't heard from, or who's just like making a cookbook somewhere.
No, I like if you would have said Tyler or Angela is going on this challenge, pick one. I would have said Tyler. Like
Same.
the last time I heard about Angela was through Tyler's speech about getting her cookbook. I was like, shut up. But anyways, like to me, it's just like the casting choices are very weird to me. Like even Survivor, to be honest, while it is like diverse, I think it would have been cute to have other people on. I love that Tasha was there personally, even though she's like out. I think she was a good addition. But yeah, just random choices. First of all the white people they picked from Survivor, there are a lot of white people I like from Survivor, but these ones, Tyson I'm cool with, whatever, I don't really care. Sarah,
I know. And Ben.
Why?
You have to appease Middle America. The Midwest
But there's
needs...
so many Middle Americans that they could have picked, that except for these, like outside of these two losers.
Dominic, you don't need Ben. Why is Dominic on the show? I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
you know what?
Yeah, talk about random.
That's one of the most least, when I look at Survivor players, I'm like, oh, I recognize your face. I may not remember your name. Dominic? Bro, that's the trenches. Like, I couldn't even tell you what episode he was in. I know that I recognize him, but I'm like,
he tied Wendell. He tied Wendell for the win. The only tie.
Laurel voted between them for Wendell to win.
For Wendell to win.
Yeah. And I'm okay with Wendell winning. I'm okay with that.
I'm more than okay with Wendell winning.
So at the end of the day, it's like, why did we choose these people? Like,
I will say, I think that the like mosh posh pish, what's it, Oshkosh bagosh shit, whatever words I'm looking for here, like the potpourri of people we get. I think part of it is to blame on the fact that this is season 1 of this iteration, and I think that depending on like how it airs and how people's experience went will determine like if we get a better cast than we do this time. Not that this is a bad cast. I'm enjoying everything.
No, they actually ended up being pretty good.
Yeah. I just think
we know that they reached out to Parvati. We know that they reached out to Janelle. We know they reached out to like these bigger names. I think they reached out to Cody Calafiore and Derek, which no thank you. But it seems like they did like put a pretty wide net, and like these are the people who said yes, because like Janelle and Parvati are like, I'm in my 40s, I'm not going on the challenge. And now Janelle is out there tweeting being like, I wish I went on the show, this actually looks fun. So maybe she'll be on the next one.
I think it's so funny that you said it's the people who said yes. Like that reminds me of the All-Stars choice, the All-Stars cast. Dave Monaco's with the people who said yes, and I just find it so funny. Small stars, like yeah, I don't know. I'm curious, and I'm really interested. Do you think that people who have done MTV's The Challenge who are from CBS can go on CBS's The Challenge, even though they've been on MTV? And if so, do you think they will?
If we see Fessy or Casey on the show, I quit. No, thank you.
While we're on Fessy, did either of you see the tweet today of like the lineup of women he's hooked up with while
that's
on
so
reality
bad.
TV? It's just like 16 white women that look the exact same.
So bad.
Yeah.
I was like, Michelle, really?
I
know you did it, but the fact that I'm seeing you in this collage, oh no.
Collage. The only one I have nothing bad to say about is Haley, because she was the first, and they dated.
Laurel's picture looked like it was straight out of the
Laurel
yearbook.
shook me. That shook me to my core. I was like, what?
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet, but
no,
spoiler,
I don't want to see
sorry.
it.
Don't
Laurel
threaten to kill me in the parking lot.
Sorry.
Yeah, she does.
Laurel's gonna get it together.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see Laurel again, but that's an episode for another time.
So I do think that they can cross over because, I mean, CBS owns MTV. It's all under Viacom. So I just don't know if that will actually happen. I mean, Tyson's already talking shit in terms of like, put me up against the greats and I'll beat them. So like, would I love to see a season that had like Tyson, CT, Jordan, Wes, Bananas, yes, I would absolutely love to see that. Absolutely. Bring in a couple, like, build up a couple more seasons of this and give me a crossover of best of the best. Absolutely. It just needs to happen sooner rather than later. Although CT, I saw a picture of him last week and he still looks fucking fine.
CT's like fine wine.
I have a theory about someone who I think will be on CBS as a challenge.
Tell me.
Possibly. I think that Josh could possibly be on the challenge.
Shut up, Josi. I regret saying tell me.
Here's why. I know that the MTV contracts, whatever, obviously now that they're owned by CBS, is a whole other beast. But the fact that he's not on the next season of the challenge and like the way he's been actively kind of like I've seen him like around the like CBS like show. I think there's a tweet about Big Brother and I'm like, this man barely tweets about it anymore since he's been on the challenge. I don't know. I'm like, if there's anybody,
Ugh.
it would be him. And I see it in the cards. I really do. Because if he doesn't show up in the next season of the challenge, he is pulling up like MTV's the challenge, he's pulling up the CBS as the challenge. And you can't convince me otherwise. That's my theory.
So
I'm putting it out there.
My slight insight on that, and if you care about knowing or like not knowing who is on the next season of the challenge on MTV, then skip ahead like 2 minutes. But from what I understand, when they brought people in for season 38 for the challenge, Josh was there. He ended up being an alternate and who wasn't selected. And I think part of it was because of the theme that they went with this season. And I think that they kind of were holding off to see if Bananas would or would not do this season. And when Bananas signed on for the season, they made Bananas and Nani partners. And I think that they were planning on having Nani and Josh be partners. So when they like took Bananas over Josh, and that's why Josh wasn't on this upcoming season of season 38.
I did see him tweet though that he was thankful that he wasn't on this season.
Yeah, because he didn't get picked, so he's trying to fucking shape it in his favor.
He did that with Big Brother All Stars too, when he was supposed to be on and then got COVID.
I think honestly though, let's be real. I mean, I don't know all the details of the next season, but like I think I would take a break from the MTV. It's just not giving what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like the idea.
Yeah, but Josh is the fucking reason it's not giving what it used to be. Like Josh and Casey. Are you defending Josh right now?
I will defend Josh and say he's better television than Casey and Fessy.
He's better.
I'd rather watch Josh than Casey and Fessy.
But the thing, okay, we're completely leaving CBS right now. So if you're sticking around for this, welcome to the Challenge MTV. This is TJ Hates Quitters. Here's the thing: Casey can win. Casey.
Yeah, but I don't care. She's boring as fuck.
At
least Josh brings the drama.
I'm not disagreeing. However, if you're a man to be like, you have to have. I feel like if you're on the challenge, just bringing the drama isn't enough because, like, we've seen some oddballs win the challenge where like I feel like Josh just won't win. Where like you need some athletic women, and that's where we get people like Casey and like to an extent Jenny, who is fucking jacked but boring.
Yeah, get rid of her. I mean, she hasn't been around, but like
she didn't come back because they did her dirty. They made her an alternate for the next season after she had won the previous one, and she was like, "You all can go fuck yourselves." I don't know. So like, I think like Big Brother as a whole, at least who they brought on to MTV The Challenge, has like done a huge disservice to the challenge because
I think the first group,
the Big Brother Alliance,
okay.
Yes.
I like
Natalie was good. Davon was great. Paulie even Paulie without Kara.
Yeah.
He's the villain that we need, okay? I'm saying
I'm not
Kara can stay away forever, but Paulie's the villain that I think maybe we need.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all real quick. I really was on this season. Like when Paulie first came, I was like, dude, shut up. But I miss him. Like I actually miss him. I'm like on Twitter, he used to be so funny. Like he was so chaotic. But I was like, oh. And here's the thing, I get it that we need these like physical blah blah blah. But to me, but that's the thing. Like looking back, like I don't know if it's just looking at fresh meat and like the people they had let on the show versus what the criteria of the show is now. There's this like idea that they have to be the best. They have to be like they have to be a sport. I just want to
watch entertaining TV.
Yeah, it's just like the moment MTV decided that they're gonna shift it and act like it's a sport, like
it is. It's America's fifth sport.
But like it's like this is not what the challenge was.
But that's the thing. that they have to like accommodate for is because the people who keep returning to the challenge are treating it like America's Fifth Sport. They work out year round.
Yeah, I blame production more than those. Yeah.
There's no way
See,
Josh can
I
sit
think-
here and be like, I want to be on, but if production isn't like come on the show, then he doesn't have a pop from the start. They started drilling this mentality of like what the challenge should be, and then instead of making it like even the party scenes, bro, people used to get wasted, make out, and then the next day, like I'm just gonna give this example because it's the freshest one in my mind. Laurel got wasted night one, wasted, kissing everybody, butt out, you know, in the hot tub, a mess. The next day she fucking ran. Like that to me is what we like to see.
Yeah.
Now people are like, I can't drink too much because the next day's like fuck that. Like no one wants that. If I wanted that, I would turn like SPN or something. I don't know if that's the actual acronym, but you know, I would get into that. Like I would watch the NBA, the NHL. I'm not here for the sport. I'm here for the entertainment. And then if people can get physical and start throwing and hurting each other, okay, good job. But like aside from that, I'm here for the entertainment first.
I agree.
I just think that the people on the show have shifted it more so than production has. When you have like, I honestly think one of the biggest people who is at fault for that is Cara Maria. Like Cara Maria,
I agree.
She was, when she wasn't on the challenge, she was working out to be on the challenge, and then people did it to keep up with the Cara Marias and like the bananas and all. Like it, I think that there's a shift in the people who kept coming back year after year and made it become what it is. And like, if we could get more drama in it, I'm not opposed to it, but I do like having the fact, like, I don't want it to just be, I want to watch people be like athletic in addition to dramatic. And so I get the entertainment part, but
I don't want to see athletes at all.
I do. I want to see like people do cool shit and like be good at it. If everyone sucks at it, it's like, what's the fun in it, I guess, at least for me as someone who watches this. And so I don't know, that's my opinion on it.
Kari, okay, let's talk.
You can't convince me to not appreciate competition.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
I was built
that's
this way.
But like, Kari, you've been watching the show since what season?
Oh, I don't even remember. It's been a long time.
But it's been deep, right?
Oh yeah. I've seen every season.
I once was in the US and turned on the challenge, and they had this old ass fucking season. And I saw the challenge, and it was like ride this small little bicycle and like do like just some dumb fucking shit. That to me is not athleticism. It didn't start that way.
No, but I'm not talking about that.
But you stuck around though because you liked the concept.
But that's the thing. We didn't go from like tricycles to like I don't know, like jumping between trucks that are going 50 miles an hour. Like we didn't make that transition so abruptly. It like kept growing and developing into that. But the reason that it was able to keep growing and developing into that is because we have that return of players each year. And so when you go and you show up and you lose time and time again to these same people, does that, if you know you're likely to come back, does it not motivate you to go home and work out and be better so you stand a chance of not going back on the next season and making an ass out of yourself, losing to bananas again, losing to CT again? Like having, how many of them are like Leroy? He took swimming lessons. You know what I mean? Like, dude couldn't swim, went home and took swimming lessons. Like, these people do care about it from an athletic point. We didn't go from riding, like, wheelbarrowing on the beach to like what we have now. It transitioned that way because people came in and like need to challenge the CTs, need to challenge the bananas, need to challenge the Evelyns, the Emily Schramms, you know, like we didn't just like end up here, I don't think. But now we're at a place where it's too top heavy, and I agree. But there has to be some fucking people who are entertaining and athletic. That's all I'm asking for.
Well,
like,
Casey Clark's not one of them, is all I'm saying. She's boring as hell, and she doesn't make good TV, and I'm done with her on the show.
She honestly, hot take, she only won Big Brother because Tyler pissed off Bailey a little too much. Honestly, he said, I don't need your jury vote. And she said, oh, really? And then she didn't vote for him, and she was the tiebreaker. Honestly, you know.
I agree with you, but I actually blame Sam more than I blame Bailey. Because Bailey was never going to vote for him. But Sam, was his bestie in the house, and he neglected that relationship, and she didn't vote for him either. So,
yeah, he had terrible dream management. But all in all, like, Casey to me doesn't give what the girlies give. And that's why I'm so thankful for the Challenge USA. I mean, part of me was a little upset that the Love Island girls were turning up and giving what needed to be given. And then people were like sitting in the bars and being like, I don't understand why they're behaving this way. And what? They're still here. And they're still here.
Yeah.
So what? Let them dance. Let them turn on. Don't judge them. And what's crazy is that the editors edited out that some people were trying to kiss and make out with the Love Island girls. Enzo. So I just...
Nasty ass Enzo.
Yeah, he was trying to get with Sully. What a weird time to be alive. But
dude, we have like 3 different generations of people represented on this show. Like, we have very, very, very young Gen Xers. We have millennials, and we have some Gen Zs. Like, we run the gamut, which is also making this an entirely different show from almost like any season of the challenge that we've seen. And like, even still, like, if exclude CT from it, like, it's mostly people in their mid-20s to at most like early 30s. And we have Tasha's 46 actually. She turned 46 within the first time I checked her birthday. And then when I was talking to, was it you, Katie? I'm like, yeah, she's actually 46 now. You know, like, we have fucking generations on this show. So I mean, like, I can see the people sitting back and being like, kids these days, but then Enzo, don't be creepy.
Well, yeah, it's just nasty.
Well, she wasn't opposed to it. You know, Sully's kind of crazy. I wish that they had let Sully on much more. You know, that first confessional, like that. Them like yelling, while someone was doing their confessional. I don't remember who they're going against. So funny to me. Oh, that's what I like to see. Like, if you're psyching people out in such funny.
It was Kylan and Azza.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, yeah. Like that, I love that. I need more of that. I don't need Sarah Lascelles trying to be like, this is a tough sport and that when she hasn't won shit. Like, I'm not here for that personally, but you know, that's why I like All Stars and Challenge USA better than what MTV The Challenge has become. But that's just me.
Agreed. I'm with you, Josie.
Nitro brought his heaviest bone into this room and is picking it up and dropping it. So sorry.
Hi, Nitro. Thank you. Our fourth guest.
We got into this whole side conversation because I asked, what do you think of Cache thinking that Tyson is the weirdest person on the show? Anyway,
we went off, huh?
We really did. But it was good. It was good. I loved it. And like we said, straight vibes over here because it's so hard to talk about this show in isolation when
it is.
Especially, I think there's so many people who like don't understand the origins of it. Like, even Josi said, like, I watched an old season and they were riding tricycles. That was
the one that sticks out the most to me. And Kari, I don't know if you remember this, or Josie, if you saw it, but when they were dressed like chickens and they had to like take mealworms with their mouths and like spit them into it. That's what like I think about when I think of like old janky ass challenges. But like I personally miss the goofiness of it because they didn't take themselves too seriously. And now we're like really taking ourselves too seriously for a reality show. So like, let's chill. Let's relax.
I think All Stars found the perfect balance.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Challenge USA is so well liked is because it's a bunch of rookies who aren't invested as much, like Kari talked about. But like All Stars, I feel like there's a perfect mix of both. And I just don't know if MTV can allow themselves to go back to that with how they're now like, you know, like doing commercials about themselves being the 5th greatest American sport. What the? First of all,
okay, so where that came from? Do you remember how
Bill
I told
Simmons,
you?
Right?
Exactly. So I told Josie this is how I got into the challenge. Bill Simmons used to write his weekly article at the end of ESPN the magazine, and he referred to it as the 5th sport. And so like it really picked up steam from him. Like it wasn't even like an MTV created thing. It was kind of like a pop culture created thing.
Like why? Why is that? Because now they're going to lean into that so hard and it's so annoying.
Well, but
like,
it's been around for decades though. Like literally it's been around for like 15 years.
But like, did you see that new poster? Like I just saw this. Like I think we had this conversation, but like there's a poster I saw on the timeline where it was, or maybe it was a commercial on like CTV. That's where I watched, for where Canadians watch the Challenge USA. But I was just like, are we gonna really gonna lean into that? Like, are we really gonna take ourselves
I think they
that
waited too long to lean
seriously?
into it.
But like, if they leaned into it when it was like still camp, I would have been like, okay.
Yes.
But like, it's
Yes.
not camp anymore.
No.
You okay, Carrie?
Yeah, I have an open wound that Nitro's licking, and I just tried not to scream when he did it because I wasn't expecting that. It hurt so bad. Don't do that. He's like, but now he's like chasing my foot around. Fuck. My Crocs gave me a blister.
Oh no. I thought Crocs are supposed to be comfortable.
They're Croc slides, and they are, except when they give you a blister.
Fair.
Anyway,
Okay.
Nitro, stop it. Okay, other things to bring up from. Well, let's talk about the daily challenge a little bit because we barely did, and it was called Buried Treasure. So here's the description.
I did my best, Carrie,
to
to pay attention as close. I was like, pay attention to these directions, pay attention to these directions. And I lost it towards the end when TJ started talking about a second lap. I was like, nope, the blackout started. But I paid attention for most of the time.
I didn't
took a lot of focus, though.
Instructions of the elimination, to be honest. Today was hard because we were getting our TVs mounted during the episode. So like I was talking to my roommate, I was talking to the guy who's mounting our TVs. Like I did my best, but no, I think I can describe this one. So each pair, they had to swim to these like buoys that had like a binary code on it. So it was all ones and zeros. You had to memorize your code, and then you swam further out, and there was 2 barrels that had your code on it. And each barrel had puzzle pieces, but you can only get 1 barrel's puzzle pieces at a time. So you swim out, then you just swim back to the starting point, put your puzzle pieces there, swim back out, get the second set of puzzle pieces, swim back, and then basically, like, it was kind of a tangram, but kind of wasn't, because tangrams tend to be like, not that squares aren't a shape, but more like abstract shapes, but it was a square tangram puzzle. And Kayla and Derek were out to a very early lead, crushed it in the swimming. Some other things we're mentioning was that Cash can't swim, so Tyson was with her, obviously, as we mentioned 90 times already. And their method, I thought, was funny, where Cash was like, I'm just going to kick my legs. I'm the motor. And Tyson's going to swim and drag me along.
Just
and
pull her by her life jacket.
Yes. And later on in the like the swimming portion, we see Tyson just passing people up as he's dragging Cache.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Now, that water looked disgusting.
Disgusting. As soon as they jumped in, I was like, oh, this is the nastiest water I've seen in a long time. And I live by the East River and the Hudson River, and this looked more gross than that.
There was a point in this challenge where Sarah's like, jump, Leo, jump.
Yeah, Gio's like,
I don't want to jump because I don't want it in my mouth. And I'm like,
he's like, I'm trying not to get a brain amoeba here from this nasty ass water, so I'm good.
I was like, I don't judge you now that you've explained it. You know what I mean? Because like to me, it's like jumping, like just jump in. But when you put it in context of how grimy that water was, I was like, you know what? I don't blame Enzo. I don't blame Leo for like going down whatever that was.
Then she did her backflip. She's a fool.
Oh my God. Talk about wasting time. Girl, just dip in and swim. Like, you didn't have to do all that. And you still lost. You lost.
You did all that for nothing.
Like, if someone who in first place would have done that, I would be like, okay, haha, like, now you're flexing. And it makes sense because but you know that your partner is struggling in this aspect. Why are you now doing gymnastics? Why are you wasting time?
Yeah.
Like, because you have to think about it, position herself, execute it, rise up, be like, oh, I did that. I ate, quote unquote, and then go and like swim. Like, that wasn't necessary. You could have easily done that after the end of the challenge if you really wanted to do all that. Like, it's so weird.
Yep.
Yeah, when she did it, I wrote down, shut up, Sarah, with your flip. I do have to mention that this challenge did bring us our 5th Kiki comment. So we are Kiki strong here, where He mentioned something about like Kiki would drown him or something,
Mm-hmm.
but we have our Kiki comment. I love that we're keeping this running joke going.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we got our Kiki. As soon as Danny got a confessional, I was like, all right, we're getting Kiki right now. Like, it's just like I was waiting for it. And then he said it at the end of the confessional, so I was like, wait, is he not going to talk about Kiki? But then he brought it up.
Can I be honest? Danny to me is giving Sarah Lucina edit in the sense that like we don't need to hear about Kiki all the time, but I think
Yes,
you're
we
gonna make it
do.
so. Here's the thing: I am Team Kiki before I am Team Danny. Don't get it twisted.
Same. Shout out to Kiki.
But to me, it's like it's giving to the point where he's gonna make it to the end and he's gonna reference Kiki, and it's gonna close everything out. That's what it is to me. So at this rate, you know, he's getting that edit because what has he done? Love Danny, but what has he done?
I'm going to look at his Instagram right now and see if there's a picture of Kiki. If he has one.
Yeah, he has.
He has to. The amount of times he references her, like Kiki has to be on like all of the Instagram pictures.
Yeah, right?
If not tagged. His bio probably says, Kiki. Like we did in middle school. With like the lock.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see her yet. She's not like on the first grid. She's not here.
What?
Uh-oh.
Not the shadow band.
The disrespect.
I see 2 pictures of his mom before I see Kiki.
Maybe Kiki's not a picture
Here's
girly.
Kiki.
I actually...
Yeah, Kiki's cute.
Kiki's... I remember I actually looked up Kiki because I think it was a couple weeks ago, though. I think it was after 3 straight weeks of references. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
You're like, who is Kiki?
Get Kiki on next season, please.
Yeah, Kiki's gorge. I'm looking at her
Bestie
Instagram now.
The challenge.
Oh my god, yes.
Bloodlines is the terminology we use on this show.
No, I just wanted to say bestie because it
Bestie
literally gives me the ick. But yeah, knowing CBS, they could take it if they're allowing it. Anyways.
Okay,
so anyway,
Kiki. Let me put my phone away.
Cash ends up picking a barrel that was the wrong code, and if you pick the wrong barrel, you have to swim all the way back and then have to basically redo your lap. So
yeah,
Tyson and Cash swam an extra lap than everybody
and Tyson
else.
is in a full rage at this point.
Yeah.
Like throwing shit.
He's
full
pissed.
Rage.
Yeah.
He threw those puzzles like, ooh, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you make more puzzle pieces if you like break them. Calm down, Tyson.
True.
So, you just turned like a 10-piece puzzle into a 15. Why are you doing that? But in a stunning turn of events, Tyson and Cache don't quit, and they just keep going. Tyson, Michael Phelps his way with his like sled behind him, aka Cash, dragging her along as she's just paddling her feet to help move her. They get back. I think they end up back in like 5th-ish or so.
Yeah,
fourth.
Okay,
I think.
Fourth.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And Kayla and Derek had a massive lead, had a lot of time to get this puzzle done, and both of them are supposed to be good at puzzles. Just fell apart. Tyson and Cash get up there, smash the puzzle, and they win, which is incredible because they're the only team that had to swim an extra lap.
Yep. Yeah, the only one. And Tyson was like, this is going to add so much time. We're going to come in last place. Like, he was freaking out. And there he goes. He won. Along with Cash. She won as well.
I think it was, I don't know why, but it's like, I thought of CT's reference when he was talking about, I forget who he was partnered up with. He was partnered up with someone who was good at puzzles, and he was like, there's too many chefs in the kitchen. Only like just let one person who's good at puzzles do it, and let that be me. And so I thought about that when they talked about it between the two of them. I don't know. First of all, I hate kind of like the whole I am good at puzzles thing when you haven't done a challenge puzzle. Because when they go out of their way to say that, I'm expecting the puzzle to be done. Like, don't say that if you don't, like, if you can't back it up type thing. Because I was expecting them to be, like, done. Like, even, like, one of them could have easily just been like, you know what, do it. go ahead. We're both good at puzzles. But to me, it's like I didn't see either of them being good at puzzles. And the fact
No.
that they go from first to like, what was it? Second that they go?
Third,
Yeah, I
Third?
think it
third,
was third or
But
second.
like,
Doesn't matter. Not first.
not first.
but like, they ended up third by even by being miles ahead of other people. That to me just shows that you're not as good at puzzles as you think you are. Just because you do the occasional puzzle app once in a while and you do fairly well and it gives you 3 stars does not mean that you're good at puzzles. I'm sorry. A 3-year-old does that exact same app and gets 3 stars. What makes you different? What makes you unique? Until you step foot and like pull a CT and just eat a puzzle up, I don't want to hear you say that you're good at puzzles, especially since we haven't had proof of it. And then when you get third place or fourth place or second place, regardless, after being way ahead of people claiming that you're good at puzzles, to me you just look even dumber. Like just
Yeah.
let's stop claiming. Let's stop claiming these words that don't belong to us. Let's layup, puzzle master. Enough. Just mind your business. Just perform before you speak.
I think it's hard to say that you're good at puzzles because puzzles is such a generic term. There are so many types of puzzles. Like, I'm good at math puzzles, but if you put one of those like 3D puzzles in front of me, I might as well be blind. Like, I can't, I just, my spatial awareness doesn't do it. But like, when we say puzzles, I don't know. I think it's just like, it's a bold thing to say that you're good at puzzles. I think that because puzzles, it's not just being good at puzzles. You also have to be good at communication. You have to be good at working under pressure. Like there's a lot of things that tie into just being good at puzzles. And so I also think it's like an unnecessary pressure to put on yourself because like, I don't know, puzzles take so many different forms and to say that you're good at them, like you can enjoy puzzles, but also everybody should.
Yeah, maybe say I like puzzles. Yeah. Maybe just say that.
Yeah.
I also feel like, to both of your points, like I wouldn't be so arrogant to say, oh, I'm so good at puzzles until, Josie, like you said, I have performed consistently well at puzzles. Then I could be like, oh, I have a reputation for being good at puzzles. Like maybe Michelle on the challenge who is good at puzzles. She's won many, well, maybe not many, but most of the eliminations that she's won is due to a puzzle being an equalizer. So it's like she has the right to be like, oh yeah, I'm a puzzle person. Like this is where I excel in some of these competition shows. She's earned it. CT is a really great example. I mean, CT's kind of good at everything, but CT is famously good at puzzles. It's like those because he's proven that he is, so he can say that and other people can say that. But like me, I'm not going to go on the challenge and be like, I'm so good at puzzles. Who am I? Who are you, Derek? Have you done a puzzle on TV? I don't think so.
No, I agree. Well, Azah and Cinco end up coming in last. Azah struggled swimming, and
this was
I don't know. Yeah. This to me, like, she said she's going to take swimming lessons. I would love for her to follow through on that and see her back because she gained a lot of respect from me episode 1 when she hauled her ass up 22 flights of stairs. Because that's no easy feat. This comes from someone who moved in and out of a 3rd-story apartment this weekend.
Wouldn't be me.
My legs are still sore. So
just 1 flight of stairs is enough for me personally. I can't imagine 22.
I woke up in the middle of the night just in excruciating pain in my knee. And I think it's just because I was dehydrated more than anything else. But like stairs, dude, they'll fuck you up. There's some girl on TikTok that like does an hour of stairs, like the Stairmaster, at like a running pace every day. And to you, you don't need to go outside. But you like, actually need to come in and turn on the challenge and like watch TV for a second.
Like, yeah, but like why are you doing that?
I don't know. Why is that your fun?
Why are you running?
I don't know. Yeah. Up the Stairmaster. That's okay. Anyway, so these two come in last. They're going straight to the elimination. And then after the elimination, before they go and talk to the winning team, Cinco and Azah talk between themselves. And Cinco's like, don't give Cash any information. Don't give them a name. She's going to manipulate it. And when they go into the deliberation, they follow through on this. They're like, so Tyson and Cash are like, okay, who do you want to go in? Nothing. Okay, who do you not want to go against? nothing. What did you think of this strategy here?
I think it's risky because you would hope that someone that you have a relationship with would respect your wishes and would send someone in that you think you have a chance at beating. So if you have that opportunity to say like, this is what I want, or to like build some kind of trust between, Cinco and Cash, or even with Tyson moving forward, like this is a good opportunity to do that instead of kind of stonewalling that conversation. Like, I just feel like anytime you have a chance to have a meaningful game conversation, you should take that chance. Like, deal with the potential manipulation later if it comes, but like do yourself the service now while you have the chance to do it.
Honestly, I think they did the smart move because if you look at the layout between the four of them, Tyson is Survivor, Cache and Cinco are Love Island, Oz is Big Brother. The only other people who are Amazing Race, one is attached to Survivor, Tyson, and the other one is attached to Big Brother. So what can they say? Really? Like, let's be real, because whoever they throw out, they're hurting in the long term and thus maybe hurting other people. Because if, Ava says, if Cinco says, I want to go against someone from Love Island, he's turning his back on his own show. Cashie's going to feel some type of way. She's not going to throw them in. If Cinco comes back, he's in trouble. And up until this point, they're yelling, Survivor strong, Survivor strong. Even like after the meeting is when we see Survivor strong crumble. So he doesn't really have a place to say, hey, I want to go after Survivor. Like, there was no win-win-win situation. And while I don't know Cache personally to be like, oh yeah, she would have definitely manipulated this thing. I don't know that. Yeah. I don't think they really gain from saying a name because regardless, whoever they say and they decide not to put in, like, if they come back, they're going to have an enemy. I saved you. Me, Cache, I saved you. So now they're going to be like, well, you try to put me in. So, gloves are off. I can put you in whenever. Just say the word. So I feel like they did the right thing. Plus, like, I don't think what they said would have mattered. Tyson and Cache were going to do what was going to be best for their game, regardless of what those two in particular said. And Elsa has no numbers, so like she wouldn't have gained anything.
But that's why I think she should have been sticking up for herself.
Because like she needs numbers.
And not even just needs numbers, but like there's not no one, but few people that she comes back to are going to have her best interests in mind. So like, why not go out fucking fighting? Like, why wouldn't you want to go against who you think you can beat? By them, like, not even throwing a name out there, she ended up going against one of the strongest women in the house. Given it was a mostly mental competition and like strategy, and so she didn't have to worry. But like, if it was a hall brawl, Azah dies. R.I.P. Like, she's gone. She's dead. Like, she has maybe 2 concussions, 4 broken ribs. Like, she doesn't beat Sarah Lacina in a hall brawl. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't know what you're getting in these competitions.
But who does she go against?
Huh?
Like, I think it's like she has no one to go against.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, the thing is, like, no, I think you have to burn bridges. I think if you're looking at it for yourself in terms of like, okay, if I have to go like head to head against a woman in something, who do I want to go against? Okay, not Angela. So maybe Kayla. I know that she's with Derek, but like, I don't know, Big Brother already imploded, especially like Derek was team get the cookout out of here. So
well, that's why I said.
But Azah didn't know that. Like,
she does?
She didn't know that at the time.
No. During the season, like, they didn't know that was the narrative. Like, that's why a lot of cookout members have been like speaking out.
Yeah,
because they didn't know. Because mind you, prior to the show, everyone's kikiing, having a good time. Oh my god, these are my best friends for life.
Calls rental.
Like, they were all like living in Todrick Hall's house for like a bit. Like, when I watched or like saw Twitter drama unfold, a lot of it is because people weren't being honest. In a game where you lie, it's okay. But I think now that people know each other and there's attachments, it's a different type of game and a different type of reaction and consequences to actions that you do. So prior to this
Azah
point,
saw this happen last week.
But Derek isn't the reason why. Like, she's gonna hold Kylan and Alyssa responsible, not Derek. Derek didn't decide. Like she
No,
doesn't
but I
know
mean, like, she
all
saw
of the
the
information.
dissemination of like Big Brother in front of her, that like she chose, like, to, I don't know, to me it just doesn't make sense to not lobby to go against someone that you think you stand a chance of winning. Like, that's challenge 101 to me. You at least
Yeah.
like put the idea out there.
I do think she should have said a name, but I do think, Josie, I think you're right. And especially because Kyland was part of the decision to throw in X, I don't think she realized it was like a cookout versus non-cookout Big Brother 23 thing, because obviously Kyland was in the cookout, so was Xavier, so was Azza. So I don't think she probably put that together in the moment. I don't even know if Kyland really put it together. I think it's really just like, oh, we wanted X out, so we're getting X out. Like, I don't think he realized that it was like, oh, the cookout did us dirty, so we're going to do the cookout dirty. Like, I don't think he probably put that whole picture together.
Y'all are so lucky I wasn't here last week, because I would have ranted often about Kylan, all of them. They all would have caught it. But I just think Azza's like, I think Azza, as who she is as a person, isn't like, I think she's love driven.
She is. She's not a schemer. Yeah.
She's like,
Then get off the challenge. Fucking scheme.
I think she kind of ate the challenge. She was funny. She gave good looks in the confessional. I was kind of here for it.
She's gorgeous.
You know what I mean? And I'm here for, I like people who may be underestimated or don't have the physical prowess that you may think that you need and then eat down. Like, I think it's like kind of like Suri with Survivor. I like someone who fights and then realizes their worth and growth. And so to me, to see, because I know personally, if I ever end up on these shows, God knows, I think Big Brother is the only one I would really be like, oh, that's my shit, my element, blah, blah. But if I randomly got casted on Survivor, like, I know that I have a storms are coming. Like, I'm realistic enough. So I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight and try to triumph. And I kind of like that for Azza. I like that from other people.
I hope that she sees this and realizes I let someone else's relationship be a factor in like who I face in elimination, and I need to speak up for myself more. She played Cinco's game. She played into Cinco and Cachet's failed relationship and like did not do anything to help herself, in my opinion, because I don't think keeping quiet in that, like, try to lobby. Like, we saw James lobby his way out of getting thrown in with Tyson in week 1. We saw Kayla like put a good word in with Tyson, and like, I don't know, at least try. I hate that was just like, nope. And it was like, Cinco suggested this and she did not oppose it whatsoever. If she genuinely thought that was the best plan, fine. But like, to me, if you aren't going to try to be in the driver's seat of your own game in the challenge, you aren't going to win. You have to have control of numbers, strategy, socializing, something. And to me, Azza did none of that in this, and she allowed Cinco to take the reins.
Well, I think the thing too about Azza is that she wasn't really the driver of her own game in Big Brother either. I like Azza a lot, but she sat back a lot and she let herself just get used in the alliance as a way to move things forward rather than making and calling the shots on her own. I think the biggest shot she really called with persuasion was to take out Hannah over I don't remember who was it, Xavier at the time, which she should have done, to stick with the women and went with the men of the cookout instead. Like, I think that's really like her biggest game move. Otherwise, she was really just kind of like a vehicle that moved the game forward. And the cookout all really planned every week out step by step. And yeah, there was turmoil within them, but it was like, okay, we're going to throw the comp to this person this week so we can get this person's buddy out. And then the next week we're going to get this person's buddy out. So it wasn't like she was in a position where she had to strategize for herself very much. So I think her showing on the challenge actually is better than her showing to me on Big Brother, because I feel like she was a competitor. She went out there, she tried her best. She really fought from like the competition standpoint. She won an elimination, which was great. I think she probably just has a lot to learn in terms of like fighting for herself in a game, because she played somewhat of a little bit of a group game in Big Brother 23.
I think she left at the right time for Azza. I feel like this was Azza's exit. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Just because I see. I feel like Big Brother 23 and like post Big Brother 23, I feel like I know them a little bit more, not like
Mm-hmm.
personally, but I kind of see their like actual personalities aside from like what's edited on the TV show.
Yep.
So to me, and like seeing how Ozza is as a person, I just like, I don't think she's gonna alter her personality for a game, like, and like, so like the challenges is not like gonna be the game that I think suits Ozza the best. I
Yeah.
think Big Brother, where it's very social, that makes sense for Ozza because she's a beautiful human being inside and out. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, with how it went down, I'm at peace with it because I feel like it makes sense for who she is as a person. If she comes back, do I think that there needs to be a little bit more gameplay? For sure. But I think for first time, I don't think Ozza was watching the challenge prior to this. I could be wrong, but I think she got the call. She said, okay. And if she did some homework, she probably watched one or two seasons
Mm-hmm.
and was like, get me on here. I don't think she trained at all. I think she was just here for the vibes.
I
And
think
it
I
brought her up
heard
into
that
this
she
one.
actually contacted like very shortly before they left for filming, like
I
two
heard she
weeks
said
ahead of time.
no a few times and then decided to come. I think this was really like, Josie, to your point, like she probably wanted to prove to herself that she could do it. And that's more
Yeah.
along the lines of why she was there rather than like gaming and trying to win. Like she wanted to
And
challenge
like
herself and
compete
make her.
for the international, like,
Yeah, like she doesn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that either.
I think Audra was here for her check, have a good
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
serve
To
love
push
from the
herself
confessional, and
physically.
call it a day.
Yeah. See what she could do. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. After this whole deliberation, we get Sarah complaining to everyone about Leo, which is a great setup for Sarah and Cache. I mean, Tyson and Cache to throw Sarah in because, like, we're not throwing you in, we're throwing Leo in. We're trying to assert, like, we're trying to help out the rest of the women so they don't have to be partnered with him. And that's kind of like the excuse that they use. I mean, Tyson, like we found out, wanted to throw in Ben, but Cash wouldn't let that happen because he was partnered with Justine. So at the elimination, they get thrown in, and needless to say, Sarah and Leo came out on top. The elimination was interesting. I liked this
I like
elimination.
this too.
Anybody can win this one, and I think like as frustrating as it is that Sarah won, um, Leo kind of like showed something here that I think a lot of challengers could take like I don't want to say some notes on, but just like take heed of, I guess, which in the fact of like he's instead of just rushing into it, he stopped and thought about it for a second and came up with an incredibly named or incredible strategy, stupidly named, but incredible
Yeah.
strategy of okay, I noticed that there's 4 different types of pieces, and so we are going to figure out the different types of pieces by like the length of them. So this one's the smallest because it's like a 2-finger length and then a 3-finger length and then a fist or whatever. So because in this challenge, what they had to do was there's a bunch of these like
They're kind of
hexagon
like
shaped
gears
pieces.
almost, kind
Yeah,
of.
they're
Yeah.
supposed to look like gears. They're like hexagons and they had different widths. And there was a shipping crate that when you went in it, completely dark, and there was a tower of these gears that you had to basically memorize and then recreate out in like the sandpit arena by collecting them and putting them in the correct order. So like we mentioned, Leo came up with this idea of let's figure out a system of naming these before we even go in so we can just go in, memorize the pattern, and be done with it, as opposed to Cinco and Azza just went straight in, didn't really have a strategy, and then kind of like did 2 or 3 different strategies throughout
Yeah.
the event and clearly didn't work. Sarah and Leo crushed it. And I hope that there's some people who see this, both MTV challengers, All-Star challengers, and USA challengers alike, that like that was smart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to rush into it. Take a second, think about it, map it out. Be a cat.
Work smarter, not harder.
I was impressed.
I was impressed too. I thought that was great. And that just goes to show, like, Sarah, you could talk all the shit you want, but, like, Leo won this for you and for himself and really proved himself to everyone in the house. So just maybe because he can't swim that well doesn't mean that he's, like, a trash partner. So shut the fuck up, Sarah, with your storming the capital energy after the fact, just, like, ripping
Get her.
into your own throat like a psycho. She's horrible.
I love it when Katie like drags people for me. I'm like, yes, give me more. Do it again.
You guys heard the
Yeah.
story about what happened after she won Game Changers, yeah?
Yeah,
From
she like
Ozzy?
put the MAGA hat on. Yeah.
No, I never.
Ozzy
You didn't
exposed
hear
her
this?
ass. Ozzy exposed her.
Yeah, so like they all voted, and as like soon
Yeah,
as
after
the
the
final
vote.
votes were put in, she like puts a MAGA hat on, and like Ozzy and all them kind of like turned to each other, like
They were
"Did
like, we
just
would have voted
fucking vote
different.
for her.
Yeah,
for
like
$1
maybe we would have voted
million?"
different.
Yeah.
No, 'cause I didn't like her because oh wow, I didn't like her because of her personality. But now you're telling me that oh god.
No, she's
Anyways,
doing political ads
Yeah,
right
I
now
posted
in
one on
Iowa.
my Twitter. She's doing her crazy eyes are right staring into my soul doing a political ad.
Oh
The
my god.
least
Okay, that's
she looked
hold
like
on.
a deer in headlights was during her celebration post win. Like I've never seen her face not look like a deer in headlights, but until then.
I just love Tyson dragging her after the confessional.
Yeah.
like
you know,
like
she
eating
gave
a
me
turkey
the
leg.
turkey. I'm you know, I have this honest opinion about Leo, and I don't know if I'm wrong because Leo just seems like a good human being, and I think Ashley said it like he's a good person. I just think he doesn't take the game seriously. Has anyone sat down with him and been like, "Hey, this is how you're coming off. You know, this may not be your intention, but letting you know." If he was informed of this behavior, like how people perceived him, and then he was like, okay, and still chose to ruck amok, okay, drag him to filth all you want. But it gives to me that these girls just said this in the confessional because they felt like it was a safe space. And like, honestly, it's fine. Like, you can tell the truth in your opinions. But I just feel like, I don't know, I'm getting the vibe that people didn't actually tell Leo. I think Kayla's the first person to go up to him and be I need you to talk game more. But she doesn't explain to him why it's so important that he should probably listen to her. I don't think people are giving him the full extent. And that's why I think he keeps acting the way he does. But I think that elimination just showed that he's a good partner, and that he also has his ideas, and he can also thrive under pressure and perform when he needs to. Not everybody is strong in everything. Half of the cast can't fucking swim. So why is it that Leo's just getting dragged left and right? Obviously, I'm pro woman, pro choice, pro feminism. Yes, 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 yes. But to me, it's like, has anyone actually spoken to him about how they need like the women perceive him? Like, I don't feel like he's been given that, and I could be wrong. I mean, there's so many things that we don't see on the show, but I just feel like he's so naive. Like, he gives me like, I know we talk about cats and him, but he just gives me lost puppy vibes. Like he's just trying to find his home, and he has a good heart and good intentions. I don't know. I just feel like he's probably watching. I'll look on Twitter to see what his reactions are, or on Instagram if he has any. But I just feel like he doesn't actually know. Is it just me?
I thought the week that James was kind of coming for them, he was taking the game pretty seriously. Because he was like, well, we're all Amazing Race. We should be sticking together. And it felt like he was like trying to game it a little bit. So what that he has fun? He's playing a game.
Why can't we have fun and play games? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
it's a game. Games are supposed to be fun.
I hate this new we have to be tough. Like I just
I'm on the other side of this. I would be so fucking pissed if he was my partner and he acted like he does half the time. Because at the end of the day, yes, it is a game, but more often than not in these challenges, if you don't have a strong male partner, even if you're a strong woman, you're fucked. Where if you're a strong male and you have a weak woman as your partner, you can still do okay. And so if I'm a strong woman and I'm paired with Tweedledee the cat over here because he wants to be a cat, like, what the fuck? Why wasn't he put in elimination 3 weeks ago before the perfect algorithm got him paired up with me?
I don't think he underperformed in any of the other challenges, though. I mean, this one he's actually sooner, but he didn't come in last in any of the other challenges.
I just think that if you like compare him to the quality you can get out of some of the other men there, or even some of the other men that went home, like, would you rather have Xavier or Leo as your partner?
I think it depends
You know
on
what
what
I mean?
is.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things that like I think I would be frustrated if I felt like I was a strong woman in the house and I was paired with someone who wasn't, it's maybe not so much his skill level, but wasn't taking it seriously. Like I want my effort now. And if I think it doesn't matter what your skill level is, if your effort isn't being matched, then that's frustrating no matter where you are. Whether it's in like your work environment when you're working from home, if it's in your relationship, whatever. If your effort isn't being matched, like that's frustrating. And so I could understand the frustration from the women. And then the other part of like, well, not mentioning it, I guess can come from the fact of like, I'm not going to have to be his partner again for a little while. So like, yeah, I think it would be smart if Sarah had approached him at the beginning. It was like, listen, here's what I need from you. And of course, like it's a challenge where he's not going to thrive because of swimming or whatever. But like I think it's your partner's responsibility to sit down and talk. Like we've seen it happen, especially with like Derek. We see Derek socializing with his partner and talking more like feeling each other out. We saw it with Kayla this week. We saw it with Shan previously. Like, I think it's your partner's responsibility to also explain, like, here's how I'm approaching this, and this is what I hope that you're approaching it. But, like, I think I would be frustrated. I don't know if I would be excited to have Leo around.
I think where I'm coming from is more so in the sense of, like, it's not that I don't agree that these people can't be frustrated. I think what's annoying is I don't think Leo's particularly bad, first of all. I don't think we've seen him lose often. If anything, like I feel like David Alexander, maybe because I don't like him, should be dragged a little bit more.
He's
but he hasn't. There isn't a man besides Tyson, maybe Kylan.
And Kylan and Tyson are the only two that have won a challenge. Only two men that have won a challenge.
Two to me that have a leg to stand on in regards to like being like that shit. Like every other man on that cast to me is the equivalent of Leo. No one's proven to be better or worse. I don't think Leo's that bad. Obviously, in retrospect, I'm not in the house. But like there's not someone who's always been right there, except for maybe Kylan, and apparently Ben has been, but I haven't been paying attention enough to Ben to know if that's true or not. So those are three men. There's X amount of men left. So he's not worse or better than anyone else, in my opinion, because look at everyone's bank accounts. They all look the same. So why is it that he's getting that flack? I can understand if someone's like really intense and serious, how it could be frustrated that this energy that is being received, but he doesn't know that. Like, he doesn't know that. So to me, like, I don't know. I just feel like he's getting a lot of flack for a lot. I feel like a lot of people are saying stuff behind his back rather than telling him straight up, hey, Leo, I feel like this is the energy. That's like my whole point.
But it was Sarah who was initiating all those conversations. His current
partner. So annoying because she never said anything to him.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like annoying. She should have at the beginning been like, I've been watching you. Listen, I care about this. I want to win. For me to do well, this is what I need out of you. And he could have said the same thing, like, all right, well, I'm going to need you to be supportive, or I'm going to need you to like, you know what? I really get motivated when someone like, I don't know, for me, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm 10 times more likely to put some more effort into it and do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's your partner's responsibility. Like Sarah, I think is the trash bag here for going around and talking about Leo the way she did.
Across the board.
Like I'm not saying I understand what she's saying. I'm just saying I can understand being a woman in the house who feels like my effort isn't being matched by the male partner that I have, especially if like, I mean, it's like we said, Tyson and Kylan are the only two who have won a challenge. And so only two men who have won a challenge that like to have a chance, you need to have someone who's legitimately trying and sees like they care.
Well, I don't think that him having lighthearted energy means he's not trying. Like he's shown up to every challenge and he's put in effort. So I think people just show their effort in different ways. So in order to be in a game that's like a group game or a partner game, like Carrie, to your point, you have to have open communication. But I think just because he doesn't show his effort the same way as other people doesn't mean he's not showing effort, because he's like having fun with it. Because he shows up. He doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. He makes jokes like in the confessionals and beforehand and like the little interviews pre-challenge. But he's there. And just because he didn't jump into the water and do a backflip like Sarah's dumbass did, he still tried and he still showed up and he did what he had to do. I think they didn't come in last. They just didn't win. And like we've been saying, Kylan and Tyson are the only two men that have won.
Also, Sarah has not won.
Yeah. And I think like,
period.
I think everybody has different strengths. So there's going to be something that Leo eventually is good at. So I think everybody in the house is strong in their own way. I don't think like just because he's not a strong swimmer doesn't make him a strong partner. So I think he's just getting a bad rap. Like we haven't seen anything. We've seen worse from David. We've seen worse from Dom. We've seen worse from other people in the house. Like, let's rag on them. Why are we ragging on this guy? Just because he's like goofy?
We did not slander Dom enough. The water?
Yeah, hello. He almost sent himself home. I wouldn't want this man to be my partner. I'd take Leo over Dom any day. I would take Leo over David any day.
Sit on it. I know he would. I know he would.
He would. He would.
And
he won that elimination. He's strong. He's mentally strong. I mean, he shows his strengths in just different ways. So fuck Sarah.
I'm sure he's a good runner too. Amazing Rich has to like log some shit. Like if he gets to a final and he has like a bag, this is nothing to him. He has to do it for months. So it's like he's gonna have his strengths elsewhere that other people will have. Also, it's like I get that Sarah's like, I just need serious, but like you have to remember this is a show. We're not gonna cast 800 Tysons.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna be the same as you. You have to be adaptable.
Everyone's gonna react the same to things.
Desi though, was like, this guy is too much. Like,
yeah, but like I think all of the people who are talking about this like are a little intense. Like I think they're like taking it very seriously, which is fine, but it's like not everyone is casted to take this seriously. Do you think the Love Island girls are casted to take shit seriously? Let's be for real. Let's be for real. They're here to turn up, twerk in the middle of the bar and have people look at them and still enjoy themselves. People are casted for different reasons. So for you to sit there and act like everyone has to take it seriously, obviously, if I ever get on a show, I'm gonna take it seriously, but it doesn't mean everyone else is. The whole point of the show is to be with different people. You come from Survivor, you come from Big Brother, you're in a house with different people, you're in an island with different people. You need to learn how to manage them. And I personally feel like a lot of these people who are on these so-called shows haven't done a good job of like social conversation and managing relationships, because if Leo can be anyone's partner now, someone needs to sit down with him. Someone needs to take that initiative. And if no one takes that initiative and he's still here and you have to do another round with him, that's on you. That's your fault. Like, you can't blame him because he doesn't know any better. He's ignorant. He's blind to the fact of like what people will think about him because they're not saying it to his face. I would dare fucking Sarah to say some shit to his face like that. She wouldn't. Let's be fucking for real. She was talking all that much shit. And then she got put into elimination and then he carried. But she's not gonna tell him all that stuff. Like, I just find it so annoying. Bro, if you're gonna talk bad about someone, you better have that energy to their face. I don't know if that's just me. I'm built that way, but you ain't never gonna catch me be fake, all smiles, joys, ha 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 ha, hee in your face when I've been talking shit about you to everyone who listens. Like, that's so annoying. Because of this, I am low-key Team Leo, even though he's a little weird. We're all a little weird.
Oh, I'm not. I cannot wait for this.
Carrie, you're fucking weird. Don't say that.
No,
Carrie, you're fucking weird. Stop saying that. Stop.
No,
I didn't do anything wrong, Carrie. He didn't do anything wrong.
I don't understand how you enjoy this type of personality. Like, this person is like, I don't get it.
I enjoy his personality. I just don't fuck with the way how people are treating him.
I feel like people are trashing him, over the top trashing him for no real reason. He has not really underperformed.
Like, that's the issue. If Leo was just doing his business and no one was saying shit, I wouldn't be advocating for him this much. But because of the reality of the situation and how people are treating him, I'm gonna fight for Leo a little. I feel like he deserves a little bit of fighting, like, done for him instead of being trashed on every 5 fucking seconds. Cats are weird. I'm not even a cat person. I'm a dog person. But, like, come on. Everyone has their thing. Everyone's different. Everyone's unique. Let's stop bragging on personality shit. You want to dog his game? Sure. But you need to win some eliminations. And that's why I don't fuck with Sarah. Because she doesn't do nothing. And she's sitting here dragging every single person she can. For what? For what? Anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think if he was on a different show and not Amazing Race, they wouldn't be treating him like this. But they're the minority. There's only 2 of them left. So he's an easy target. So people are trashing him just because of that. And it's not really a super physical show, as traditionally physical as like Survivor or even Big Brother. So I cut Leo some slack. I don't think he's doing anything that warrants the amount of like trash that he's getting thrown on him.
I can't wait for him to be eliminated.
I'm such a hater. I'm such a hater.
I don't care. He doesn't do anything.
You don't
for
even
me.
know who this man is. You can't even,
Exactly,
don't even know if he's
that's
Enzo or
why.
Leo. And you.
That's exactly. I don't want Enzo here either. Like, get
Yeah,
rid
no,
of
me neither.
both
The
of
meow
them.
meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 2. I don't know. If cats are the backbone of your personality, then like I don't care what you bring to the show. I'm not here for it. I literally wrote the third to last thing I wrote was I hate this cat shit. That's literally the third to last thing I wrote
Everyone
in my
needs
notes.
their niche. I don't think he cares about cats that much. I think he's doing
I
it
don't
for the
think so either.
television. I really think he's playing it up. I think that's his niche, and it doesn't work for him for a lot of people. But I think he's on TV and he's just doing it. I think
Agreed.
There's just so many seasons of all these shows to cast from, and I'm stuck with the guy who thinks he was in the movie Cats, which also sucked, by the way. So like, I'm out. But he did provide the winning strategy, and he's brought himself back. I'm sure he's gained some respect, hopefully, at this point. And good for him. I'm not trashing any of that. I just don't enjoy him. Like, that's all. I just don't.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, we bring Sarah back, and that's where we end the episode. Is Sarah doing like her own victory dance, slitting throats, and I almost called
The
him
QAnon
Enzo.
shuffle.
Yeah, the QAnon shuffle.
I call it the circle
That's
of
what it's
life:
called.
death, eating the animal. Sorry, vegans.
She's summoning. Who is it? Robert F. Kennedy that QAnon thinks is coming back to life. She's summoning Robert F. Kennedy back from the dead with her dances in the elimination.
And Leo's like, I called you Big Brother. And Tyson just like stood there and she's like, okay, here we go.
I bet Tyson didn't even hear what Leo was saying because like he was just horrified by whatever
This
Sarah was doing,
yeah.
whatever ritualistic
Sarah was
nonsense
like,
she was doing.
stop talking about brotherhood. Oh, let me dance. Like it was giving Addison Rae, like just random moves. Like, okay, bestie, like go off, I guess. I don't know. She thought she ate. She really thought she did.
Yeah,
something.
she really thought she did. That's
She
the most
really
embarrassing
thought she did
part. That's the most embarrassing part.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad.
And after that, we get the preview, which looks like we may get some chaos. We may not. It's always hard to read what the preview for the
Seems like all hell
challenge
is about to break loose,
Hopefully.
which I'm here for. I'm here for it.
Do you want my honest
Absolutely.
opinion? I think it's all for show. I don't. Yeah, Survivor. They're gonna. Why'd you put her in? At the end of it, I'm sure that 80-90% of the Survivor are going to the final. Like, I think this is all
probably.
some shit. Honestly, because Big Brother is decimated, I think Love Island people are just gonna get hit.
Yeah.
Neck, one after the other. Boom, 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 boom. And then there's going to be a bunch of Survivor people left. And whether or not they actually target each other, I don't know if it's going to be because I think people are just going to win their eliminations.
Mhm.
But I think this whole like Survivor is imploding type beat is not going to happen because they play like Survivor players to me play like every week is different. Like voting blocks. That's a new term that they've coined where it's like, oh, I may not have fucked with you week 3, but I'm intelligent to know that I need you week 4. So we can vote together and move past this. But I don't think this feud's gonna last. And if it does, I don't think it'll be too successful. I think it's gonna be a Survivor filled finale. It just makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. And keep me honest, but I think all the Love Island people that are left are women, right? There's none of the guys are left now that Cinco's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least on the guy side, unless Kylan and Derek make it, we know Leo's probably not going to make it to the end. Like, who else is even really left?
I think it's going to be Survivor male dominated up in that.
I think it has to
that
be
joint.
just based on the numbers.
Yeah.
Although we do have Enzo, we have David. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's be David.
No, I mean we know David's not going anywhere.
Let's do the math. I don't think Derek's making it. I think Derek. I'm sorry, Derek. I think he's gonna get flung if there's a hall brawl. That man got no meat. I'm sorry. It's good. He's gonna get ran. If he doesn't go into a hall brawl with Tyson, and Tyson's kind of a beast, it's gonna be ran. It's gonna. I feel like the repercussions are gonna be so hard. It's gonna give Jay after that one.
With Rogan.
Beaten up.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I don't think David Alexander is gonna make it that far to begin with. Leo's not all that good, and so I feel like
after all of your defense of Leo, you're gonna sit here and say Leo's not that good. Wow, that's shady.
I don't think he's that good. I just feel like an elimination, like a lot of the final is swimming. A lot of the times it's like swim induced or water induced.
There's gonna be at least one more swimming challenge too, right?
There's gonna be another. Okay. Here's my thing. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's just the easy vote. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he's an easy vote. He has no one. Clearly, no one has his back.
Yeah, no one's
protecting.
He's
just gonna get voted in if he's not last. So that's what I mean by I don't think he's gonna be like go far. But I'm still gonna defend him because I don't like the behavior being exhibited towards him. I'm a lover. I don't like mean girl esque energy from people who don't have the balls to say it in front of his face. If they say it in front of his face, I'm like, cool, we're all good. Like I'm not gonna defend him, but I just feel like there's a lot of shit talking, and not like indirect. Like I don't think they're done directly. I think they're done indirectly, which makes me think that these people, Sarah, are bitches. But
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
I think something that's worth noting is that the strongest alliance left is the Love Island women.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. Like, they come from a show where they don't have to go after each other like that, right? I mean, there's no like strategy like that, right?
Friendship, like friendship vibes, like let's get a shot after this.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they won't turn on each other. They haven't been in an environment where they've had to.
Yeah, this is in Survivor and Big Brother's blood.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing though, because I mean that's 4 of them, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs left. So that means the Love Island women are going to be in just under half of the pairs. So they
protecting each other.
Yeah, they have a 4 in 9 chance of winning next week. That means that they have a 4 in 9 chance of protecting each other next week as well. Like I do think that that the Love Island women, based off of not wanting to turn on each other, can make it further in this game than I think maybe people would initially have thought, just because they're from Love Island, whatever. But it really seems like they are riding strong for each other. And in the challenge, just like in any of these other games, like numbers do have an impact. Like obviously, like you have to win your elimination. But I don't know. I could see some more Love Island women being further along in this game than I would have thought back at week 1.
Yeah, same. And I think we're already seeing it pay off because Cache was able to keep Justine out of the elimination tonight. When if it were up to Tyson, she would have gone in. So it's already paying off to have these women in such a strong group because they're performing as well. I mean, it's not like they're not performing. Justine, I think, is one of the baddest ass women that's there. She's performed better than Sarah.
Oh, get her. Yeah.
She has. She's not talking as much about it, but she's performed worlds better than Sarah. And she's won a challenge. She's won an elimination.
And that's exactly what I would like Justine. Okay. While I love Love Island, and like I would love for them to like, you guys slept on us and look at us now. I would love to see it, but I'm gonna be honest, it just takes one of them to be paired with someone who isn't a Survivor, and a Survivor to win, and it's done. Like I genuinely think that these while they're big in numbers and have a better probability, there's still a probability that they don't win. Like it just takes Desi to win with I don't know, like someone random, and it takes a Love Island girl to be paired up with like David or like Derek or one of those boys that don't have numbers. Like
Mm-hmm.
to me, I just while I think they're great, I really do think they're just gonna go back to back to back if they don't have power every week. I think this next week is gonna be the most important week for Love Island. If someone from Love Island goes, I think they all go like back to
Yeah.
back to back, and there's no saving it. We'll see, but
Think of it this way. So Shannon and Kira both haven't been partners with Tyson yet. So I'm not going to sit here and do the math on the probability that they are this week. But
mhm.
if we say that Kylan's the only other guy that's won, so has I don't know. I don't think Cachet's been Kylan's partner. I can't remember. Um, I don't know. I don't
No, I
like.
don't think
There's a
so.
good chance that Kylan's hasn't been with any of the Love Island women.
He was with Shannon tonight.
Oh, okay. So then there's like 3 there. I don't know who you'd say the next strongest guy is. Maybe Danny, maybe Ben. Like there's I don't know. I'm just saying like I don't there's good chances that they could be this like low key underdog of the season. These 4 women
Mm-hmm.
together, and I support it. I'm here for it. I hope it happens.
I love that you used Tyson as your example, but I'm thinking of like Derek. I think all of Derek's partners have gone, if not most of them. I think the
Mm.
only person he's been partnered up with who hasn't left yet is Kayla, and that was this week
Mhm.
because he was paired up with Tasha. Tasha's gone.
Mhm.
He was
Tasha,
partnered up
she-
with Shan. Shan is gone.
Yeah. Yep.
He was partnered up
No,
with
Sarah Lucina, she's still here.
Oh yeah, Sarah Lucina last
yeah,
week when
but
she was
that
trash
means
talking him
odds
too.
are one of these Love Island girls is always going to be with Derek, and Derek is in one of the most vulnerable positions to me. Derek and David, like I really don't care for David, so I don't know what his odds are because I don't want to pay attention to him. So in my mind, he doesn't exist. But Derek, who I have been paying attention to, has the biggest probability to be with the Love Island person. And it just takes one person, like it just takes 2 people not to be Love Island to win, and it's done for. It's done for. Like they're definitely going in. Like it's just that's what I mean. I think next week is the biggest turning point for Love Island if we're gonna and what we see. But
The other thing
they also have to go against like Sarah.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. And the other thing I worry about too is that we're talking about them potentially getting paired up with like a Kyland who would probably listen to them and take their opinions into account. I mean, Kyland's a talker, but I think he does respect what his partner would say at the end of the day. At least it seems like that with Alyssa. But get one of them with Dom. We already saw how he was with Cash. Get one of them with Enzo. Do you think Enzo respects women? I mean, I don't. So, I mean, get them, and then one of them potentially wins a challenge, and like they're not going to listen to whatever their Love Island partner is going to have to say. So they have to get paired up with like the right partner that's going to listen to them. I don't think Ben would listen to them either. Like they would need to be with
Ben
a
has his own
Tyson,
agenda.
probably a Kyland, probably a Derek. They would, if David's not winning a challenge, but if he did, he would let the woman make the decision because he is a flop. So like they would need to be partnered up with someone like that who would actually like listen to them and allow them to protect their alliance like Tyson did today. Otherwise, it's like almost like their numbers don't matter because we have these men who are kind of like, ick.
I'm rooting for it. I hope it happens.
I'm rooting for it too.
I would
I'm
love
here
to
for
see it.
there was a point I was gonna make, but I forgot it.
That's
It'll probably
okay.
come back to me.
Because I think we're going to round this up mostly because I really need to go to the bathroom. So, anything else we need to say about this episode of the Challenge USA? Any last words?
No, I think I'm good.
Damn, I know that thought was good, and it slipped. It slipped. It slipped. That's so tea. Damn. No, no more thoughts. That's gonna really hurt me mentally. I'm gonna go to bed tonight and think, what was I gonna say? Oh, that's so annoying. Anyways, no, I'm done.
All right. Well, you had your chance, Josie. So,
I did, and I flopped. It's true. It's true.
all right. Well, let's round this out by doing, what are you doing on the internet these days? Josi, where are you at? What are you doing? Make sure you spell it right.
Girl, I made a reference to that
You
the other
did.
day. And I was like,
She skipped the
well,
I
you
in her
plagued
username
me.
for like 3 straight weeks.
Oh my god.
You plague me. Every time I want to like talk about myself, I think of you. Like I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I have to spell this out. I'm like Aquila and the Bee. Okay, tapping on my leg, like closing my eyes. Oh god. Okay. Anyways, yes. If you liked my voice, or if you liked watching me, or just fucked with my thoughts, I podcast in other places too. Tomorrow's what? No, I lied. Friday, we go live and we talk about the week of Big Brother with my icon over here, Katie. So you guys can tune into that. Love Island UK just finished. Me and my friend are gonna do an entire ranking of the entire cast, everyone who's come out and come in and done all the things, and the doing of the things, and our thoughts on the recaps. And if you know me, and if you listen to Just So Damn Messy, oh god, you know that we're gonna get into it. So keep a lookout for that. Also, I'm starting a new show covering Original Sin, Pretty Little Liars. So keep a lookout for that if you like that show. It is giving, honestly. If you guys haven't watched the original Pretty Little Liars, it's really fun. It feels like its own new genre. It's giving very horror. It's kind of cute. It's kind of a moment. Very excited for it. I think HBO is doing a great job with the first 3 episodes that we saw. So get into it and then listen to us talk about it. It'll be fun. But aside from that, if you don't want to see me tweet or Instagram, y'all can follow me at JosianeXNM, JosianeXNM. Yes, I have to like mentally prepare to say that.
It's on
And
the
you can also-
banner. Just read it.
God, anyways. And you guys can also PayPal me at the same username. Every time I podcast now, I talk about my PayPal, and it's all because of Icon Carrie herself. So that's it for me. Purr. Meow.
Oh, you. Take her out. Katie, just go. Just go.
Yeah, my turn. Okay. Well, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RealSlimKatie. You can also drop me a follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore at the end. And do have a quick plug for Twitch. So Saturday, I am running a charity stream along with my fellow streamer friend, Pyro Jennifer, for 12 hours. On Saturday, we're going to be raising money for reproductive rights and abortion access for all. So we're going to be sharing a link out to a charity that you guys can donate to, and we'll be doing like fun games and community games and games with people in like our general communities, and people like some of you may know, some of you may not. It's all good. But stop by at some point during the day. It starts at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and just hang and show support if you would like to, or share. There's a tweet about it on my page if you would like to share it. We welcome all and anyone who wants to just help us get the word out. Got to do something with our rage. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on Twitch. On Silent Podcasts, you can listen to me and Josie talk all things Big Brother tomorrow and every Friday on Bounced Checks, where we talk about the week, prior week, and what's to come in the week upcoming, and we rank all the players every week, and it's a fun time. We really drag the shit out of them, honestly. No holds barred. This cast is a mess, and we do not shy away from talking about it. You can also find me on the Cool Water Show with Kari. So I'm just podcasting with these lovely ladies here on Silent Podcasts all the time. Obviously, you can find me here every week on TJ Hates Quitters talking about Challenge USA. And we're working through some Snake in the Grass coverage. So you should see that drop in your podcast feed soon. We don't have a date yet on when we're going to actually record it, but we're really excited to talk about it because that show's been a lot of fun so far. So that'll be a fun, lighthearted, strategic little podcast. So check us out.
No meow? Do you want a meow?
No, I'll save you from it. I'll save you from it, Kari.
You at least have cats. You could like blame it on your pets.
I do. I can't mimic their voices though.
Josie's never invited on again. So we've my foot down.
Just follow me as a guest.
Go ahead. Listen. I'll say it to his face. Like, I don't care.
I think my meow might secure a future guest. I'll make it work. I'll strive towards that. That's actually my message. Just wait. I'm on it.
We'll make you love Leo yet, Kari.
Him, Enzo, just all of them.
No, we're good on Enzo.
Put
I
them
don't think we need
all in a
Enzo.
room together. Okay, I'm KPP26 on all the platforms, so follow me. And I don't know, I've been kind of quiet. I moved, and life has been just super hectic. So if you want to see, I don't know, I'm posting like just stupid shit my dog's doing essentially on Instagram. That's probably the place to follow me right now. Not sleeping on the bed that I bought him. Anyway, so yeah, KGD26 and podcasting. Everything I do has already been covered, so I don't even know if I really need to talk about it. Just listen to silent podcasts. Let's see. So you can follow us and watch. So the videos, I think that we're more engaging if you watch us via YouTube than podcast. But listen, your life, choose what you want to do. But if you want to watch the videos, either Twitch or YouTube, so search Silent Podcast, follow, subscribe. And then on Twitter, we are at silent_podcasts. And then if you do listen to us in podcast form, whether it's Apple, Spotify, just, give us 5 stars, give us a nice little review, fill it with your favorite cat noises. We don't care as long as it's 5 stars. So just do that for us, please. And then we will be catching you next week. As a heads up, I know we are pretty good about giving you the coverage on Wednesdays, but we got to do Thursday because quite frankly, I am going to be entertaining guests from the country of England, so I will not be around. Yes.
How distinguished.
Yes, camp friends, So, but we'll bring you that coverage on Thursday, so it'll be a day later. Please wait for us. We'll miss you in the day that we're not here. But until next week, enjoy whatever day, time, week it is. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.